Chapter 1526. Dark North Protection Technique. Xiaoping stood on the spot and immediately used his protection technique. Layer after layer of energy shields appeared on his body. There were a total of 108 layers. Countless Kuan Peng runes appeared, like little Kuan Pengs wandering around the energy shields. These energy shields were extremely gentle, like a blue ocean, extremely keen and soft. Bang, bang, bang. At this moment, the attacks of Commander Che and the others arrived in an instant. Countless underworld ghost palms slapped on the energy shields, causing an earth-shattering sound like meteorites hitting each other. What was more terrifying was that these underworld ghost palms seeped out wisps of power and kept penetrating the energy shields. It was as if they wanted to invade Xiaoping's lungs and completely shatter them. Unfortunately, this power was still too weak. It could only destroy a dozen layers of energy shields and could no longer move forward. Most of the power was absorbed or transferred. How is this possible? It's useless. What kind of protection technique is this? Che Xiujuan and the others couldn't believe their eyes. The dozen of them attacked with all their strength like mad dogs. Even a golden elixir realm cultivator had to retreat. But now, their power couldn't even shake the opponent's energy shields. They couldn't accept this fact. Even when facing the giant nether ghost demon, they weren't so powerless. At this moment, they felt a trace of regret. They seemed to have offended a terrifying big shot. Che Xiujuan, I spared your dog life just now, but you still dare to act so atrociously. Today, your life ends here. With a swoosh, Xiaoping rushed forward and punched out with his fist, causing an explosion. So fast, Che Xiujuan was shocked. His eyes were filled with endless fear. Even with his dynamic vision at the peak of true fire realm, he could only see a beam of light. He couldn't even see a shadow. He wanted to dodge, but it was too late. Before he could move, his body was instantly hit by Xiaoping's bullet-like fist. The entire air exploded, stirring up the wind and clouds. With a dong sound, his entire body exploded, breaking apart into pieces. He clearly wouldn't be able to survive. Commander Che, a general shouted. His eyes were wide open. Bastard, how dare you kill Commander Che? I'll take your life. He was so angry that his body was trembling, and his eyes were filled with extreme hatred. Noisy. Xiaoping instantly closed in and punched out. With a boom, that person's body immediately exploded and turned into a pile of meat paste. His killing intent towards this general of Qingyang City did not waver at all. They had all become traitors and caused the deaths of countless ordinary people. Their crimes were monstrous, and such scum deserved to die. Not good. Seeing that the two of them had been instantly killed, the remaining people fled in fright. They no longer had the courage to fight Xiaoping. Black Vortex Ripple Fist. Xiaoping's speed was unbelievably fast. Countless afterimages appeared as he used his martial arts. Immediately, he flew out like countless black flood dragons, tearing through the void. The air turned into ripples, like a stone stirring the surface of a lake. Boom! All of the generals remained where they were, not even taking a single step away from the shocking impact. From the inside out, their bodies shattered just like that. Blood flowed everywhere, and they all died. Before they died, they never thought that they would be killed just like that. They were instantly killed by the fist energy. This human does have some ability. No wonder he killed over 100 nether ghosts. He is a great enemy of my nether ghost race. This human must die, or he will definitely become a great disaster. The nether ghosts at the side had solemn expressions. They could tell that Xiaoping's strength was extraordinary. Ordinary nether ghosts were no match for him at all. Kill. At this moment, Gao Onxing and the others seized the opportunity. While Xiaoping's dermic powers had not recovered to their peak, they immediately attacked. Martial arts, Nether Ghost Giant Wheel. The group of Qingyang City elders immediately formed a heaven and earth formation. The nether power in their bodies surged out like a great river, forming countless array patterns. In the void, a huge black wheel immediately appeared. It was engraved with dense nether ghost scriptures. It spun continuously, emitting an ancient, terrifying, dark, and other hellish aura. Vaguely, this huge black will seem to be connected to the netherworld. Countless evil ghosts crawled out from the depths of the wheel, and the roars of evil ghosts reverberated in the depths of the void, sending chills down one's spine. This black will descended from the sky, crushing down, wanting to suppress everything. This power was extremely terrifying, as though it could crush the world. Its power was so strong that even golden cores did not dare to take it head-on. Go to hell. Gao Anqing's expression was ferocious like an evil ghost, and a terrifying nether ghost aura surged out from his body. Martial arts, Sun God Fist. Without even looking at it, Xiaoping took a step forth and twisted his body. Boundless power of flames surged out from his body, and every single one of his meridians seemed to be flowing like lava. His entire body turned into a heaven and earth formation that devoured the power of flames of the heaven and earth. The flames gathered rapidly, and one after another, flame runes were formed. A scarlet sun was formed, spinning slowly and shining brightly through the void. Boom! The black will was struck by the sun immediately. Instantly, the black will shattered into pieces. In fact, the flames that erupted from the sun burned everywhere. Initially, this was the power of Nether Ghost that was formed from the Nether power. However, when it met its nemesis, it ignited like oil and turned into a sea of flames. Within the depths of the wheel, a series of horrifying, vengeful spirits were howling and letting out tragic cries. However, it did not take long before those cries disappeared. The vengeful spirits were purified completely and turned into ashes. Because the black wheel was destroyed, the elders of Qingyang City could not withstand the backlash of their powers. All of them spat out mouthfuls of blood as their organs were severely injured. Oh no! Gao Anqing's expression changed. He could feel a fatal killing intent coming at him. It was aimed at him and had even locked onto his aura. The air around him was filled with a tangible killing intent. But before he could counterattack, a fist containing the power of a spiral slammed toward him. Dong! His body was immediately pierced by the fist, and his body exploded. Even his soul was torn apart and turned into fragments. Just like that, the Nether Ghost that had possessed City Lord Gao Anqing was killed by a single punch. Save us! Lord Nether Ghost, save us! Hurry up and save us! Quick, kill this brat. We can't let him continue to go crazy. He's not human at all. He's a monster. He's definitely a monster in human skin. Seeing City Lord Gao Anqing die, the elders of Qingyang City screamed and panicked. They begged the Nether Ghost beside them for help, hoping that they would personally take action and kill this arrogant Xiaoping. Their hearts had completely collapsed, and they no longer had the courage to resist Xiaoping. This was especially so for Vice City Lord Tangyu. He was the most panicked because he was the main culprit. There was no way he would be spared. Now that the City Lord was dead, he would most likely be next. Chapter 1527. Lord Dark Ghost. Tangyu looked pleadingly at the Dark Ghosts, hoping that they would lend him a hand. Alas, the Dark Ghosts were unmoved, not even glancing at them as they looked down on them. Saving you? How laughable. Humans, you're just food. Have you ever seen someone save their own food? Our previous leniency might have made you think that you had a very high status, but to us, you can be replaced at any time. Even if we kill a group, there will still be a large number of humans who can replace you. Kiki, sometimes, watching humans kill each other is quite a good show. Be obedient and die. You still have some value. We can see more of this kid's trump cards. The Dark Ghosts cackled, completely ignoring the pleas for help from Tangyu and the others. Instead, they were happy to see the humans kill each other. This would be very beneficial to them. Moreover, they were quite wary of Xiaoping's abilities. It was said that he could restrain Dark Ghosts, so they wanted to use this chance to figure out Xiaoping's background to avoid falling into his trap. What a joke. You want to be someone else's dog, but they aren't willing. Is this your way of survival? Xiaoping sneered. A person can only rely on themselves. Relying on someone else and becoming a slave of a foreign race is the same as seeking death. Those who are not of my race are bound to have different hearts. Have you not heard of this saying? No, my choice was not wrong, not wrong. I am the correct one, the most correct one. Tang had gone completely crazy. He could not accept this reality. He had given up everything to rely on Dark Ghost, but he still couldn't escape death. If that was the case, he might as well go all out against Dark Ghost to avoid such a miserable fate. But it was already too late. Ever since he had become a traitor, it proved that he didn't have the courage to fight against Dark Ghost. At that moment, he had already died. Lord Xia, spare us, spare our lowly lives. We are willing to forsake the darkness for the light and fight Dark Ghost with you. We are willing to betray you. That's right, we are still very useful, very useful. We can kill Dark Ghost and fight for the humans. The elders of Green Sun City shouted in terror. They begged Xia Ping for mercy, hoping that they could betray him and become double agents. They could also kill Dark Ghost, hoping that Xia Ping would forgive them and let them live. At this point, Dark Ghost was no longer reliable. Only by joining the humans could he survive. You've already committed adultery and harmed countless people, yet you still want to betray us? Even the servants of 3 families wouldn't be as shameless as you. Go to hell. You don't have any value in living at all. Xia Ping attacked instantly. Martial path, mystical ability, lightning fist. In an instant, thousands of fist imprints appeared in the air. Each fist imprint contained a terrifying thunder energy. Countless thunder runes gathered in the depths of the fist imprints, flickering with dazzling flames. Boom! With just a single strike, Tang Yu and the others' bodies were pierced by the lightning. Their bodies exploded into pieces and fell to the ground, dyeing the ground red with blood. At this point, the higher-ups of Green Sun City were basically all dead, and not a single one was left. Now, only 1,000 nether ghosts were left glaring at them like tigers watching their prey, and they were filled with terrifying killing intent. This group of nether ghosts was also extremely powerful. They were basically the elites of Mount Formless, and were at least in the true fire realm. There were even more than 100 golden core nether ghosts. It was no wonder that the upper echelons of the Qingyang city did not resist at all and surrendered immediately. Facing such a force, they were truly in despair. No matter how they struggled, they would not be able to escape death. However, this wasn't a reason for them to betray their clan, become traitors, and kill their brothers with a clear conscience. Why didn't you agree to let these humans go easy on us? If you have their help, won't it be easier for you and lessen the pressure on you? A Dark Ghost leader asked. They're just spies. Who knows if they'll betray us again later? Or if we kill them all? They're just a bunch of trash. It doesn't matter if they're here or not. Xia Ping said lightly. Jijia, interesting, truly interesting human. I really can't bear to kill you. Are you interested in becoming a slave of us Dark Ghosts? I can make the decision to make you the ruler of the humans of this world. You will never become food for us Dark Ghosts. Commander Nether Ghost wanted to recruit Xia Ping. You want me to become Nether Ghost slave? Do you have the right? Could he afford it? Aren't you afraid of heaven's wrath? Xia Ping immediately laughed. They were just a bunch of low-level Dark Ghosts, and they wanted to take him as a slave? They didn't know how high the heavens were or how deep the earth was. Not even the gods and devils of hell would dare to say such a thing. But this couldn't be blamed on them. These Dark Ghosts were just low-level monsters of hell. They couldn't even touch the core, so how could they know how mighty the hell Golden Crows were? Lowly human, we gave you face, but you refused it. Since you've chosen to oppose us Dark Ghosts, then die. The Dark Ghost's expressions changed, and killing intent soared into the sky. Kill him. Devour his soul and flesh, the Dark Ghost leader ordered. Dark Ghost divine ability. 10,000 ghosts devour the soul. The Dark Ghosts howled and used their divine abilities. They let out screeches that created sound waves that could interfere with a human soul. Their heads felt like they were splitting apart as they fell into an illusion of hell. They transformed into black smoke, invisible and formless. They tried to burrow into Xia Ping's mind and devour his soul. Even magic treasures were useless against this kind of power. The dark ghost could easily pass through them, ignoring all defenses. Xiaoping sneered. He didn't move. He didn't even put up any defenses, allowing the dark ghost to burrow into his body. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The dark ghosts viciously laughed as they easily entered Xiaoping's body, entering the depths of his violet kingdom. Haha, foolish human. He didn't even put up any defenses. Is he just waiting for death? He actually foolishly let us enter his soul. He's opening the door to us and waiting for us to eat him. It's rare to see such a foolish human. Is he cutting off his own flesh to feed the eagles? If humans were as reasonable as him, our lives would be much easier. Wait, what's going on with this violet kingdom? It's too big. It's like a minor world. Damn, is this really a true fire realm human martial artist? Damn it, this is bad. We've been tricked. We've fallen for this human's trap. Hurry and escape. Dozens of dark ghosts entered Xiaoping's violet kingdom, viciously laughing. They wanted to find Xiaoping's soul and immediately devour it to strengthen themselves. Some of the dark ghosts had a bad feeling and felt a fatal sense of danger. They roared and tried to escape, but it was too late. With a thought from Xiaoping, the depths of his violet kingdom immediately turned into a solar furnace. Flames burned fiercely, and all kinds of strange flames appeared. There were infernal golden crows, heavenly dragons, world trees, phoenixes, kunpangs, volcanoes, and so on. It was as if this furnace could refine and burn everything. Chapter 1528. Walala, when the solar furnace appeared, the strange flames spread, burning the world. The dark ghosts screamed in fright and tried to flee, but the violet palace condensed a crystal wall that prevented them from leaving. Their intestines turned green with regret, but it was too late. Their bodies were immediately incinerated by the flames. In just a few breaths of time, they were turned to ash, completely vanishing from this world. And after these dark ghosts died, they left behind a large amount of spiritual energy that was instantly devoured, strengthening his soul. This caused the mental flames in Xiaoping's violet palace to burn even brighter. Damn it, the 500 dark ghosts are all dead. They were all killed by this human. We can't enter this human's body. It's strange. Many dark ghosts sensed that the dark ghost auras that had entered Xiaoping's violet palace had disappeared, as if they had been killed and devoured by this human. They were all incomparably furious and shocked. Some dark ghosts rejoiced that they had been a bit too slow and hadn't been able to enter this human's body in time. Otherwise, they would have died without a doubt. Not a bad meal. Xiaoping stretched lazily and burped. It was as if this was not a battle with a terrifying dark ghost, but a delicious dinner. He was completely satisfied. This expression made the dark ghosts even more furious. They were predators, creatures that stood at the top of the food chain. It had always been them who ate humans. When had they ever been eaten by humans? This was too absurd. It was all upside down. Right, I just learned 2 hell divine abilities not too long ago. I wonder how strong they are. Perhaps I can try them. Xiaoping thought of the nether ghost hand and soul-binding chains he had just learned. He wanted to take this opportunity to understand the power of these 2 divine abilities. Whoosh! In an instant, he gathered the power of the golden crow of hell in his body, forming a giant hand. Xiaoping sensed that this nether ghost hand divine ability was different from the descriptions in the City Lord Mansion's scripture pavilion. He circulated the power of the golden crow of hell, but he did not condense a ghostly, ghost-like hand. This hand was a dark gold and incomparably noble. It exuded the aura of hell, and hell's runes condensed on its surface. Countless characters of hell appeared. Faint golden veins appeared in the depths of the hand, like cracks in hell. They produced a terrifying, devouring power that howled, like a black hole that could devour the netherworld. He immediately knew that the nether ghost hand seemed to have evolved, and it was more than 10 times more terrifying than before. After all, the nether ghost claw had only been based on the power of the underworld, which was the lowest level of power in the hell realm. But now that Xiaoping was using the power of the golden crow of hell, this divine ability was instantly enhanced by countless times. It was like the speed of a bicycle before, but now it had become an airplane. It was fundamentally different. Dong! With a thought from Xiaoping, the dark golden hand stretched out without a sound. The dozens of nether ghosts in front of him were caught off guard, and they were immediately grabbed by this hand as easily as if they were mosquitoes. What's going on? Why can't I break free? I'm a dark ghost, formless and formless. How could a puny human capture me? Damned human, let go of me. Let go of me right now, or else I will kill your entire family and exterminate your 9 generations. The dozens of dark ghosts howled in terror. They hadn't cared before, as there was nothing in this world that could capture them. Even if it was a magic treasure, they could easily pass through it. But when they were grabbed by this large hand, hell's scriptures appeared on the palm, instantly capturing their nether ghost bodies and sealing them, leaving them with nowhere to run. It was as if all of the dark ghost abilities had disappeared before this hand. They were as weak as ants, and it was easy to imagine how terrified they were. This was something that had never happened before in all of history. Dong! Xiaoping ignored the cries of the dark ghosts. He lightly clenched his hand, and the dozens of dark ghosts were crushed into powder, turning into wisps of gray energy. He stretched out his hand and threw the ball of gray aura into his mouth. In an instant, he swallowed it into his stomach, and the spiritual fire in the depths of his Zifu also rose by a notch. Damn it, we can't let this human continue acting so recklessly. Immediately set down the dark ghost restraint formation and completely suppress him. The dark ghost commander was filled with endless fear. He could sense that Xiaoping was becoming more and more terrifying, but now was not the time to play around. He had to do everything he could to capture this human. The other dark ghosts immediately moved. They could also sense Xiaoping's threat. If they dared to be careless, they would definitely be captured, killed, and eaten alive by this human. In an instant, the dark ghosts set down a grand formation. The dark ghost restraint formation. Swoosh! Swoosh! Boundless dark energy surged out of their bodies. Black lines appeared, forming the seal of the netherworld abyss. A heaven and earth formation appeared, connecting to the netherworld and producing the devouring power of the abyss. When the formation was formed, black chains appeared one after another, forming sealing chains. They danced like dragons and snakes as they attacked Xiaoping. If one was struck by these black chains, they would immediately be able to lock down their soul and make it impossible for them to use any power. This was a sealing formation that the dark ghosts had specially created to deal with the experts of the human realm. It was incredibly powerful. Too weak. Xiaoping didn't even look at it. He slammed down with his palm again, and the dark ghost hand descended from the sky. It was like a giant dark ghost had appeared. The hand crushed down, covering the world and causing the sky to collapse. Dong! Everything within 100 miles was covered by this dark, golden hand. The ground cracked, and an earthquake with a magnitude of 7 or 8 appeared. The dark ghost restraint formation also instantly collapsed, shattering inch by inch. Even the black chains were shattered into powder by this huge hand. Just by coming into contact with it, they shattered. They were unable to stop it at all. This was like steel touching tofu. The two were on completely different levels of power. Quite a few dark ghosts were unable to withstand the backlash of the formation collapsing. They let out miserable screams as their bodies collapsed, and they died on the spot, turning into wisps of gray energy. Damn it, this human is too powerful. We're not a match for him at all. Retreat, retreat immediately. Only Master can deal with this human. Staying here is just throwing away our lives. We were too careless. The enemy's strength is beyond our imagination. Retreat immediately and regroup. The many dark ghosts roared. They had been scared out of their wits by Xiaoping's attack. They knew that they were not a match for this human at all. With just a single palm, he had shattered the dark ghost restraint formation formed by over 1,000 dark ghosts. If he used his full strength, it would be even worse. This human was not a true Fire Realm warrior at all. His strength was probably comparable to the returning Truth Realm, reaching the level of a Ghost King. They actually wanted to deal with an expert of this level. Wasn't that just seeking death? Chapter 1529. You want to run? You think you can do it? Xiaoping's gaze was calm, and there seemed to be a swastika spinning in the depths of his eyes. He used his second hell divine ability, soul-binding chains. Boom! A heaven and earth formation that covered 1,000 miles immediately appeared. Countless dark golden lines cut through the earth, devouring the energy of the abyss and connecting to the netherworld. Without a doubt, the soul-binding chains had undergone a massive transformation. Xiaoping closed his eyes. He could feel the golden crow bloodline in his body throbbing. His divine sense connected to the world, and he could even sense the distant plane of hell. The plane of hell was like home to him. He was like a fish in water, and he could even communicate with the will of hell. Whoosh! The void trembled, and a majestic aura of hell surged out from the depths of the void, pouring into Xiaoping's body like a tide. This was information from hell. Countless profound mysteries of hell flowed through his soul. Mysterious scriptures of hell appeared one after another, containing the most profound power from the depths of hell. At this time, the soul-binding chains seemed to have undergone a massive transformation. Characters of hell were carved into the soul-binding chains. They were dark gold and exuded a noble and ancient aura. Before, the soul-binding chains could only steal souls and deal with ordinary dark ghosts. But now, they could even deal with gods and demons. They contained a trace of the power of hell. It was as if a portion of hell's power had been added to the soul-binding chains. At this moment, Xiaoping's aura had undergone a massive transformation. He seemed to have become a prison guard of hell, possessing the power to steal souls. Have I obtained the recognition of hell's will? Xiaoping understood. It seemed that because this place was too close to the plane of hell, and because he had the golden crow bloodline, he had attracted the attention of hell's will. Thus, the will of hell had traversed countless dimensions and given him a portion of the prison guard's power. With a single thought, dark golden chains immediately sprang out from the depths of the ground. They were like flood dragons, extremely fast and ferocious. Swish, swish, swish. The dark ghosts that had been flying in the air were caught off guard. The dark golden chains pierced through them and nailed them to the ground like skewers. What's going on? My dark ghost power has disappeared. I've been completely sealed. What did that damned human do to us? Heavens, those are hell chains. They're specially used to restrain dark ghosts. Why would they appear on a human? Isn't this an ability unique to hell's prison guards? Could it be that this human's true identity is a hell warden? They're here to capture us. That's impossible. The hell prison's prison guards have long since died. It's impossible for them to appear again. This human must have stolen a portion of the hell's prison warden's power. Damn it! Why did I encounter such a person? The dark ghosts panicked. They had never felt such panic before. It was as if they had encountered a natural predator. Their bodies were pierced by the soul-binding chains and instantly sealed. At this moment, they seemed to be restrained by chains. One by one, the characters of hell appeared and condensed into countless chains, completely restraining their bodies and rendering them unable to move. In fact, the moment the chains touched their bodies, they immediately sealed their dark ghost power, making it impossible for them to escape. They were captured like little chicks. Even the dark ghost commander was helpless against the power of the soul-binding chains. In just a few seconds, it was tightly bound, unable to move. Boom! Xiaoping made a grabbing motion, and 1,000 dark golden soul-binding chains pulled back. The dark ghosts were also pulled back. No matter how they roared or struggled, they could do nothing. They could not break free. At this moment, these dark ghosts finally understood what it meant to be terrified. It was as if they had returned to hell, and they were facing the enforcers of hell, the hell's prison guards. Your Excellency, spare our lives, spare us. We had eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. Spare us this time, and we definitely won't commit crimes in the future. Don't kill us, Your Excellency. We're willing to be your slaves. We'll do whatever you want us to do. The dark ghosts knelt on the ground, kowtowing and begging for mercy. Before, they had been insufferably arrogant, believing that their power was invincible in this place and that they were the rulers. But when faced with a power even greater than theirs, or even a power that could restrain them. They were helpless. They could only beg for mercy. There's no need. You're not qualified to be my slaves. Xiaoping clenched his hand, and 1,000 dark ghosts gathered. The soul-binding chains trembled, furiously compressing towards the center. Dong! In the blink of an eye, the 1,000 dark ghosts, including the dark ghost leader, were pulverized into powder. Their souls were completely destroyed, leaving behind only gray-white streams of air. Whoosh! Xiaoping inhaled, producing a terrifying suction force that instantly devoured the soul energy left behind by the dark ghosts. It flowed into his soul, his limbs, and his bones. After obtaining the soul energy of 1,000 dark ghosts, his flame of consciousness had undergone an earth-shattering transformation. It furiously expanded, almost reaching its limit. In the depths of his purple palace, the boundless flame of consciousness collapsed and condensed, almost condensing into a sun. The mystiques and talismans that had been resting in his purple palace seemed to be on the verge of completely melting under the fierce flame of consciousness. At the same time, the magic power in his body continued to climb, madly increasing until it reached its limit. The peak of the true fire realm. Without a doubt, after devouring the soul energy of 1,000 dark ghosts, his martial cultivation had finally reached the peak of the true fire realm. He was just a step away from condensing his golden core and stepping into the golden core realm. Xiaoping felt that as long as he entered seclusion once more, he would be able to refine all the mystiques and talismans in his body and reach the golden core realm. And this was only a matter of time. Besides the improvement in his cultivation, his golden crow of hell bloodline had also evolved. He had awakened hundreds of thousands of golden crow of hell cells, and up to now, he had awakened 2 million golden crow of hell cells. This had also caused his strength, speed, and talent to undergo earth-shattering changes. His understanding of the power of hell had also deepened. Without a doubt, the power of these dark ghosts was extremely beneficial to him. Whoosh! At this moment, there was a huge rumble in the distance, as well as the sound of orderly footsteps. Xiaoping opened his eyes and scanned the area with his divine sense. He sensed that the newcomers were the army of Qingyang City. His battle with the dark ghosts had caused ghostly qi to soar into the sky, and it had finally attracted the attention of the soldiers of Qingyang City. Thus, they had immediately sent scouts to gather information. Chapter 1530. Heavens, what a fierce battle. Just what happened? What dense ghostly qi? Could it be that my lords fought with dark ghosts? Is the battle over? It should be over. There don't seem to be any ripples from the battle. A group of several hundred soldiers immediately ran over to Xiaoping's side. They immediately saw Xiaoping standing at the center of the battlefield and the surroundings. The ground was filled with craters, and the destruction was astonishing. There were also quite a few corpses left behind. It could be imagined just how fierce the battle had been. Just the ripples from the battle had been enough to destroy Green Sun City. In truth, in the face of such a terrifying aura, they did not want to come over. The ripples from the battle had terrified all of Green Sun City's residents, making them think that the end of the world was coming. They were afraid of being caught up in the dark ghosts, shockwaves, and killed. But there was nothing these soldiers could do. They couldn't be completely ignorant, and they had no way of contacting the upper echelons of Green Sun City. In the end, after some discussion, they had dispatched a suicide squad to see what had happened. "Look, there's someone alive here. It's Lord Xia," a soldier cried out, recognizing Xiaoping. The other soldiers also looked over. They naturally recognized this extremely arrogant person who had wreaked havoc in Green Sun City a few days ago and heavily injured the commander-in-chief of the 3 armies, Che Xiujuan. But even after doing such a thing, he had still been treated as an honored guest by the city lord. This was simply inconceivable. This made these soldiers even more familiar with Xiaoping, and his reputation spread far and wide. "You came at the right time." Xiaoping glanced at the soldiers. "Immediately send out the order to gather the soldiers of Green Sun City at the center of Green Sun City's plaza. I have something to say to them." "My lord, what happened just now?" A squad leader swallowed his saliva and asked while suppressing the fear in his heart. Many of the elders of Green Sun City were possessed by dark ghosts. The commander-in-chief of the 3 armies, Chase Xiujuan, and Vice City Lord Tang Yu betrayed the human race and colluded with dark ghosts to kill me here. Xiaoping stood with his hands clasped behind his back as he indifferently said, in the end, these traitors of the human race, dark ghost spies, and many dark ghosts were all killed by me. Not a single one was left alive. What? Many of the soldiers were shocked, because the amount of information contained in these words was just too great. Whether it was the elders of Green Sun City being possessed by nether ghosts, or the commander-in-chief of the three armies, Chase Xiujuan, and the others betraying the human race and becoming traitors. These people had joined forces with dark ghosts to kill Xiaoping, but they had still been killed by Xiaoping. Each of these events was a major event that could shake Green Sun City and change the status quo. For a moment, they were dumbstruck and did not know what to say. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and go, Xiaoping said coldly. He used his spiritual might to suppress the souls of these soldiers. Immediately, these soldiers felt that Xiaoping was like a god, controlling everything and not allowing anyone to disobey his orders. Yes, Lord Xia, we will go there now. The soldiers immediately saluted and ran back to Green Sun City. Xiaoping, what are you trying to do? Why did he have to return to Qingyang City? Could it be that you want to control this city? Corinne was very puzzled by Xiaoping's actions. Yes, I want to control Qingyang City. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. This secret realm is very unique. It is actually connected to the infernal realm. This place must have some great and unfathomable secrets. With my current strength, it is impossible for me to learn the secrets of this secret realm. I will need to fight for a long time, so I need a base here as a foothold. This Qingyang City is a good choice. So that's how it is. Corinne nodded. He understood Xiaoping's meaning. This secret realm contained the secrets of the infernal realm and likely contained great terror and lucky chances. This was not something that could be completely understood in a short period of time. It would require a long period of exploration. If he had a base in this world and obtained the help of this world's humans, he would be able to obtain twice the results with half the effort. And now that all of the upper echelons of Qingyang City were dead, he could receive all of the city's strength. An hour later, in Qingyang City's plaza. At this moment, Qingyang City's army had received orders and quickly gathered at the center of the plaza. There were over 200,000 people, almost all of Qingyang City's military strength. This strange action attracted the attention of Qingyang City's residents. They also gathered around the plaza, wanting to know what was going on. It could be said that the gazes of all of Qingyang City's residents had been attracted. Swoosh! A figure descended from the sky, landing on a high platform in the plaza. He looked down from above, looking down on all living beings. Many people immediately looked at the platform. They immediately recognized him. It was the mysterious expert who had arrived in Qingyang City a few days ago, Xiaoping. They were extremely confused as to why this person had gathered everyone here. Huh! Xiaoping waved his hand, and heads were thrown out from his space ring one after another, placed on the platform for everyone to see. Heavens! This head belongs to the city lord, Gao Anqing. This is the vice city lord, Tang Yu. I've seen him on the streets before. He's a kind old man. Commander Che Xiujia's head is also here, as well as the various elders of Qingyang City. My God, why are all of the upper echelons dead? Could it be that they were killed by Lord Xia? Seeing these heads appear, it was not just the soldiers. Even the residents were shocked. They had never seen such a scene before. All of the upper echelons of Qingyang City had been wiped out. It was just too shocking. These people colluded with Dark Ghost. Their deaths are not to be regretted, so I slaughtered them all. In the future, I will be the lord of Qingyang City. You must listen to me. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back, calmly looking at everyone. Stop joking. A roar rang out. Just because you say that the city lord and the others colluded with Dark Ghost, they really did. There's no evidence at all, so why should we believe you? It must be a bastard like you who used some crafty scheme to kill the city lord and the others. A murderer like you wants to take over Qingyang City and become the lord of Qingyang City? You must be dreaming. We will not admit to such a thing. Xiaoping looked over and found that he recognized the person who had spoken. It was the city lord's nephew, Gao Ding. He stood below, inciting the soldiers to resist Xia Ping's tyranny and not admit to his rule. "Oh, what about you all? What do you all want?" Xia Ping looked at the commanders of the army. There were 200,000 soldiers, and every 10,000 of them was a general. So there were 20 generals present, responsible for leading the army. Of course, there were also some military leaders above them, but they had all been killed by Xia Ping. Chapter 15:31. Hearing this, the 20 generals glanced at each other. They could all see that the others were not of the same mind. Some were silent. They were wily old foxes and could not see how the situation was developing. They did not know Xia Ping's strength, so they did not say anything. They wanted to see what the others would do, determined not to stand out. Some had good impressions of Xia Ping because they knew a bit of the truth. They knew that there was something fishy about the city lord's mansion. The city lord might have been possessed by a dark ghost, and all of Green Sun City had become a breeding ground for dark ghosts. The humans were living a life worse than death. Perhaps it was a good thing that Xia Ping had killed these human vermin. But there were also some people with wild ambitions. They believed that the city lord and many of the upper echelon members were dead. They had worked hard and commanded an army, so there was no reason for them to submit. Among them were the city lord's own troops. They were loyal to the city lord, so they naturally would not listen to the orders of this unknown person. 3 or 4 generals immediately stepped forward, disdainful smiles on their faces. "Sir Xia, we respect you, but we also believe that you're going too far in wanting to become the city lord of Green Sun City," a black-robed general said. "To tell the truth, let's not talk about whether your words are true or not. Even if they are true, the city lord has sided with Dark Ghost, and many of his elders are traitors who were killed by you. But the position of city lord of Green Sun City is a great responsibility and can only be chosen from us generals. Even if it isn't us, it has to be a resident of Green Sun City. It cannot be someone like you, who has never met before and who has come to Green Sun City for the first time." He made his stance clear. That's right. Not just any Tom, Dick, or Harry can become the city lord of Green Sun City. Just because of your words, you want to become the city lord of Green Sun City? You are delusional. To put it bluntly, we old residents of Green Sun City have worked hard and performed great deeds. Even if we lined up, it would not be your turn. Many of the generals sneered, feeling that Xia Ping was not suitable to become the city lord of Green Sun City. "Generals, why waste words with this person with ulterior motives?" Gao Ding angrily roared, saying that the city lord has sided with Dark Ghost and is a spy for the humans is utter nonsense. It was clearly him who coveted the position of city lord and set up a scheme to kill the city lord and the others. The murderer who killed the city lord should be immediately arrested and brought to justice. He should be completely eliminated to avenge the city lord. Why should we talk to the murderer who killed the city lord? He looked at Xia Ping with a vicious and murderous look in his eyes. Gao Ding's hatred was monstrous. City Lord Gao Ansheng was dead, and he had lost his greatest backer. In the future, his life in Qingyang City would be difficult, and he would no longer be able to act like a tyrant. It was not hard to imagine that his hatred towards Xia Ping could not be washed away. At this point, Gao Ding paused and continued. "I will only say a few words of fairness here. Now that the city lord is dead, the dragons are without a leader. As the saying goes, a snake can't do anything without a head, and a bird can't fly without wings. We must choose a city lord. All the generals here have worked hard for Qingyang City, and there is no distinction between them. It will be very difficult to choose a city lord, but now there is a standard. That is, whoever kills the city lord's murderer will be the next city lord of Qingyang City. Otherwise, how can the brothers of Qingyang City accept him?" He was trying to sow dissension, aiming it at Xia Ping. Hearing these words, the generals present were tempted. If Xia Ping was killed, no one would dare oppose them becoming city lords of Qingyang City. Seeing these generals tempted, Gao Ding became arrogant. "So what if you're strong in martial arts? In the end, this world relied on brains. A few words could kill you." He could almost see Xia Ping being caught by the crowd and hacked to death. Everyone, Gao Ding planned to strike while the iron was hot and continued to sow dissension. "You're too noisy. Xiaoping expressionlessly raised a finger. A second later, Gao Ding's head was pierced through and exploded like a watermelon. Before he died, he didn't even know how he had died. The people around him jumped in fright. Blood splattered on them. Audacious. Too audacious. This is the Green Sun City. How can a murderer like you do as he pleases in this place? As expected, none of your words are true. Saying that the city lord is Dark Ghost's lackey is a joke. Perhaps you're the real Dark Ghost's lackey and colluded with Dark Ghost to kill the city lord and the others. A general in black roared. Dong! Xiaoping didn't even look. With a light flick of his finger, a terrifying force exploded out and bombarded the general. The general was immediately smashed into pieces of flesh. A huge crater appeared where he had been, with hundreds of cracks. Dust billowed and gravel flew in all directions. Everyone was silent. This was a general in the early stage of the True Fire realm, but he had been killed by a single finger and exploded on the spot. I think you might have misunderstood something. Xiaoping stood with his hands clasped behind his back, looking down at the crowd. I didn't come here to make friends with you. You only have one choice now. Submit or die. His body exuded a terrifying aura, like an insurmountable mountain that pressed down on everyone's hearts. At this moment, all of Qingyang City was trembling. Every resident seemed to feel an enormous pressure on their shoulders, and even breathing became difficult. Xiago, a tall general, jumped out. He was a trusted aide of the city lord's troops. He shouted angrily, I've roamed the battlefield for 50 years, fighting against the giant dark ghost demons. What haven't I seen? You think you can scare me? If you have the guts, come and kill me. It's impossible for me to submit. My brothers in the troops will never agree. He made it clear that he would never submit. That's right. A bastard from who knows where wants us to submit? What a joke. We didn't even submit to the threat of the giant dark ghost demons. You think we'll submit just because you threaten us? Stop dreaming. You're not qualified to be the city lord of Qingyang City. Get out of Qingyang City immediately. The soldiers under his banner all shouted angrily. There were at least 10,000 of them, and they all supported their generals. They would never submit. That's right. I don't believe that with so many of us here, what can you do to us? Our troops also support you. We will never let this unknown person be our city lord. Another general led his troops and stood up. He would advance and retreat with the other party. He didn't believe that with 20,000 troops opposing him, this kid could do anything. Very well. If you don't submit, then die. Xiao Jin, shoot them. Xiaoping waved his hand lightly. Swish, swish, swish. Golden slime appeared instantly, turning into countless sharp blades that shot out from the ground. In an instant, these sharp blades pierced the bodies of 2 soldiers, tearing them apart on the spot. Blood flowed everywhere. Chapter 1532. Silence. The entire square of Green Sun City was deathly silent. After killing 20,000 people, the entire world had gone silent. At this moment, no one spoke. They couldn't say anything at all. They all looked at the terrifying scene in front of them with terror in the depths of their eyes. 20,000 people, a full 20,000 elite soldiers. In just a few breaths of time, they had all been slaughtered, not a single one left. The 2 generals who had led the clamor and boasted that they were brave generals had died the most miserable deaths. They had been cut into hundreds of pieces. Even being dismembered by horses wouldn't be so miserable. It was as if they had been chopped into pieces. Even though they were elites of Green Sun City and had fought against the Nether Ghost giant monsters before, they had never seen such a scene. The thick smell of blood in the square almost made them vomit, but no one dared to make a sound. They were afraid that they would provoke the Fiend on the platform and be killed. Previously, they had thought that Xiaoping was joking and didn't have the courage to do so. But no one thought that Xiaoping was joking. The lives of 20,000 people were right in front of them. This was an ironclad fact. Since we're in this world, we have to be trustworthy. If I say I'll kill your entire family, I'll kill your entire family. Tell me, is there anyone else who isn't convinced? Jump out, and I'll immediately kill your entire family. Xiaoping's expression was very calm as he swept his gaze over every soldier in the square. He wanted to know who else was unconvinced. These people thought that they were the elites of Green Sun City, so he didn't dare to start a massacre. But this was a joke. Even if the entire population of Green Sun City was added up, it would only be a few million. This amount of people couldn't even be considered a strand of hair in the entire universe. Just the population he had plundered from the southern universe exceeded 3 trillion. If these people were placed in this city, a single spit from each of them would be enough to drown everyone in Green Sun City. If the people of Green Sun City didn't know how to appreciate favors and dared to act recklessly, it wouldn't be a big deal even if he slaughtered them all. The universe didn't have many things, but it did have many people. A tyrant. Without a doubt, this was a tyrant through and through. He didn't allow others to disobey him, and he held the power of life and death in his hands. All the soldiers could feel the aura of supremacy coming from Xiaoping. This was different from the previous city, Lord Gaoanqing. This was a true, ambitious, and ruthless person who would do what he said. Moreover, he looked down on all living beings and disregarded everything. From the bottom of their hearts, they were unwilling to submit to such a tyrant. But according to the tyrant's tone, if they didn't submit, they would have to die. 20,000 lives were placed right in front of them. This was killing the chicken to scare the monkey. Without a doubt, with this effect, Xiaoping's ruthless, domineering, and unreasonable image immediately rose in everyone's heart. It was almost impossible to resist. Are you convinced? Xiaoping narrowed his eyes and emitted a terrifying, murderous aura. The first to bear the brunt of it were the dozens of generals standing at the very front. They immediately felt as if they had fallen into a hell of slaughter. With a plop, they knelt on the ground in fright. We're convinced. We're completely convinced. We are willing to recognize Lord Xia as our master. From today onwards, Lord Xia will be the city lord of Qingyang City. One by one, the generals knelt down to show their allegiance. Even all the elites of the army below the square knelt on the ground, not daring to look Xiaoping in the eye. A seed of fear had been planted in their hearts, and they no longer had the slightest bit of courage. Very good. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back. From today onwards, I am the city lord of Qingyang City. My words are the law, orders, and everything. Whoever dares to disobey will die. Yes, city lord. Everyone roared out, afraid that they would be killed if they were to speak softly. An hour later, in the city lord's mansion of Qingyang City, Xiaoping, the many generals of Qingyang City, and the many middle-level leaders who were still alive appeared in the conference room. Yes, today is my first day as the boss. You can say whatever you want. Anything that is beneficial to Qingyang City can be mentioned, and I will try my best to solve it. Xiaoping said casually. Everyone looked at each other, and no one dared to speak first. After all, they could say whatever they wanted. If they really said something that would make the city lord unhappy, they would be beheaded. Accompanying a ruler was like accompanying a tiger. Is there nothing you want to say? Since that's the case, let's end the meeting. After a while, no one spoke. Xiaoping waved his hand and was about to end the meeting. Wait, city lord, this old man, Gu Bo, has something to say. At this time, an old man wearing black armor stood up. He gave off an iron-blooded aura and was extremely strong. He was 2 meters tall and looked like a bear. The surrounding people were all extremely nervous because this elder was of noble character and great prestige. Originally, he should have become an elder, but because of his upright and plain-spoken nature, he offended the city lord, and as a result, he was sent down. After working for several decades, killing countless demons and dark ghosts, he was still only a general, unable to become a commander. They were afraid that this old man would say something he shouldn't say and anger this tyrant. If that happened, they would suffer. Yes, what do you want to say? Xiaoping said. The old man Gu Bo stared at Xiaoping and said, if it was Sir Xia who killed the original city lord, you should know that some of the elders and even the city lord of Green Sun City have been possessed by the dark ghost. There are also some cowardly people who have become traitors and become dark ghost spies. I do know this, but from the looks of it, you also seem to know. Xiaoping nodded. Everyone present lowered their heads. They were not idiots, and with their high status, it was impossible for them not to notice something fishy. But by the time they learned the truth, Green Sun City had long since become a nest of dark ghosts, invaded by countless dark ghosts. Even the city lord was dead, and countless elders had joined the dark ghosts and become traitors. What was done, and the dark ghosts had established their power. They were powerless to reverse the situation, so they could only pretend to be deaf and dumb and not know anything. We do know, but we are not a match for the dark ghosts, so we can only endure this humiliation, the old man Gubo said helplessly. But if Lord Xia truly wants to revitalize Green Sun City and return peace to the human race, you must eliminate the dark ghosts still lurking in Green Sun City. To tell you the truth, because the city lord was possessed, many of the elders betrayed him, causing Green Sun City to be filled with nether ghosts. Once night falls, they go around committing evil and devouring humans, causing Green Sun City to be in a foul atmosphere with countless casualties. He clenched his fists and gritted his teeth in anger. So that's how it is. This isn't a big problem. Just find these dark ghosts and kill them all, Xiaoping said indifferently. In truth, this was also what he wanted to do. This was his territory. So how could he tolerate these dark ghosts acting so wantonly? Lord Xia, you absolutely cannot. Please reconsider. A general immediately stepped forward. These dark ghosts are traceless and invisible, and there are many of them. If we capture them with great fanfare, they will definitely go crazy and wreak havoc in the city. At that time, who knows how many civilians will die. Chapter 1533. Hearing this, quite a few people fell silent. Capturing dark ghosts was simple, but they feared that once these dark ghosts learned that they did not have long to live, they would start a massacre and drag countless people down with them. After all, this was Green Sun City, a human city. The slightest collision and the shockwaves of battle could destroy an entire region. That's simple. Xiaoping did not find this difficult. As long as I set up a pure yang evil Punisher formation in Green Sun City, once the formation is activated, pure yang flames will fill the air and instantly exterminate these dark ghosts. Lord Xia, are you skilled in formations? Gu Bo and the others were delighted. They had not expected Xiaoping to be so knowledgeable and even understand formations. In this world, formation grandmasters were extremely rare, hard to find even in 100 years. I can't say that I'm very skilled, just a bit, Xiaoping said honestly. Xiaoping said honestly. That was indeed the case. Compared to a real array master, he was still a long way off. But in the eyes of Gu Bo and the others, this was just modesty. To be able to set up a formation meant that one was already a formation grandmaster. This was not just a bit of understanding. But if we brazenly set up a formation, won't we be discovered by the dark ghosts? Some people were worried that the dark ghosts would discover them ahead of time and cause a riot. Can't we just find an excuse? Xiaoping said lazily. I just happened to see that Green Sun City seems to be very shabby, with potholes everywhere. It's like a refugee camp. I think it's time to repair it. If we set up a formation while the city is being built, I trust that the dark ghosts won't notice anything. What's wrong? Is there something wrong with my words? As he spoke, he saw the troubled expressions of Gu Bo and the others. My lord, if possible, we also want to build a city wall. Alas, even the cleverest housewife cannot cook without rice. Gu Bo and the others were helpless. They expressed that Green Sun City was poor and had no resources at all. Just fighting against the dark ghosts required a great deal of energy to survive. There was no need to think about anything else. Moreover, building a city wall required a great deal of manpower. Mobilizing the residents of Green Sun City to help build a city wall was also a difficult matter. It's just materials. I have plenty of them, and I don't need manpower. What arrow is it? Do you still need people to build walls? Xiaoping was very rich. Not to mention others, Gaia's body was a planet the size of a star. There were countless resources in it. Just a little bit of it was enough to flood a city. It was not even a drop in the bucket. Moreover, the construction of the city did not require manpower at all. Intelligent nanomachines were more than enough, and there was also 3D printing technology. Not to mention the construction of a city. Even if they were to build a new city from start to finish, it would only take a day. What? Gubo and the others did not know why Xiaoping was so confident. Their technology was too far apart from the universe. One was in the feudal era, the other was in the interstellar era. It was impossible to imagine the greatness of technology. The next day, under the leadership of Corinne, the work of repairing and transforming Qingyang City began. Countless engineering robots were manufactured and scattered all over the city. There were also a lot of building materials that were taken from Dumbo's body and piled up like a mountain. Under the escort of Qingyang City's army, the engineering robots were repairing the city walls, streets, and major buildings at a speed visible to the naked eye. The city walls were also made of high-tech polymer materials. They were light and hard. Ordinary demons could not easily penetrate them, and they could withstand the bombardment of hundreds of missiles. It could be said that the defense of the city walls had increased by more than 10 times. Even the streets had undergone earth-shaking changes. They were uniform and uniformly improved. Those bumpy dirt roads were built into asphalt roads, which were clean, tidy, and spacious. In the dark, Xiaoping was also arranging the pure, yang, evil punishing formation. Of course, no one knew about this. Hidden in the huge project, everyone was attracted by the appearance of these robots. What kind of strange thing is this? Its whole body is metal, but it can move. It's too strange. I once heard that there were some strange people in the far north who claimed to be alchemists who could refine strange samples. Maybe these are alchemy products. It's incredible, too incredible. These alchemy products are too amazing. Originally, it would have taken hundreds of thousands of people and at least 3 months to build. Now, they can finish it in a day. Their efficiency is extremely high. Moreover, these materials are new. They are much harder than rocks. I tried it just now and used all my strength to cut it, but I could only leave a mark on it. The most terrifying thing is that it recovered after a while. According to Lord Xia, this is some kind of memory metal. As long as it is not completely destroyed, it can recover quickly. My God, with this kind of metal, doesn't it mean that the city walls are basically indestructible? This kind of metal should be very precious. But in Lord Xia's hands, he took out big pieces after big pieces as if they were free. Could it be that these materials are so common in Lord Xia's eyes? Moreover, the efficiency is too fast. It only took them a day to renovate the entire Qingyang city. It's like a dream. According to Lord Xia, it is not a big problem to build another city in a day. The upper echelons of Qingyang city and the generals were all dumbfounded. When they saw this technology that far surpassed their era, they felt like country bumpkins entering a city. In just a single day, their worldview had been completely refreshed and their understanding of the world changed. There was actually such a powerful alchemy product in this world. The residents of Qingyang City also saw this scene. They also felt that it was inconceivable. This new city lord was extremely mysterious. With just a few random methods, he had caused Qingyang City to undergo earth-shattering changes. In the darkness, the dark ghosts also saw this scene, and they were also incomparably shocked. As expected, this human is not simple. We can confirm that he is definitely not a human from this world. He must have come from another world. No one in this world can possess such unimaginable methods. Just where did this guy enter this world from? Perhaps we can use him to find a new world. At that time, we might be able to find even more food. Kiki, this human has a great secret. Lord has already given the order to keep an eye on him. Don't let him escape. He has killed so many dark ghosts of Mount Formless. His crimes are unforgivable. I heard that Lord plans on allying with other factions to annihilate this human in one fell swoop. Just wait. Soon, this human will become our prisoner, a toy in our hands. The dark ghosts cackled, their eyes shining with a cold light. Seeing the excited expressions of the humans around them, they only sneered. Soon, these humans would understand the despair of death. Chapter 1534. A day passed. Late at night, Green Sun City. The dark ghosts hiding around the city could no longer suppress their bloodthirst. They spread out, planning to devour the humans. They believed that with so many humans in the city, eating a few wouldn't be a big deal. Kiki, foolish humans, go and die. Obediently become our food. But didn't the Lord order us to keep a low profile and not arouse the human suspicions? What's there to be afraid of? It's just eating a few humans. This city has millions of people. What does it matter if we eat a few? That's right. They won't notice anything. We'll just eat a few and hide. I guarantee that no one will find out. Dark ghosts appeared one after another. They did their best to hide their auras as they passed through the buildings and arrived at the residences. When they saw the sleeping humans, their eyes shone with a cold, bloodthirsty light. To them, these sleeping humans were lambs waiting to be slaughtered, food to fill their stomachs. Dang, dang, dang. At this moment, all of Green Sun City shook. Alarms rang out, shaking every corner of the city. With the City Lord's mansion at the center, a massive and powerful array emerged from deep underground. All the heaven-earth yuan qi in a 10,000-mile radius was sucked into Green Sun City. In the sky, dark clouds surged, condensing into substance like a great river, crashing. All around Green Sun City, the city walls, the streets, and even every building emitted a crimson light. It was as if the entire city had been transformed into a world of crimson flames. Any human in Green Sun City could feel a warm aura appear, filling every corner of the city as if they had been enveloped by a warm current. This was pure yang energy, and it was of great benefit to humans. Some children, elderly, and injured adults, after sensing this pure yang energy, felt their illnesses recover at a visible rate. It was extremely comfortable, as if they were soaking in amniotic fluid. If someone could observe the entire Qingyang city, they would know that the city had been completely set up into a huge formation. Deep underground, there were materials such as mithril, spiritual stones, cloud steel, red gold iron, cloud jade, firestone, and other materials that formed the foundation of the formation. It was operating at a high speed, like a Kuan Peng, devouring the pure yang energy in the depths of the void. At this moment, the entire city had become a weapon of war, filled with a terrifying, murderous aura. Without a doubt, the pure yang evil punisher formation that Xia Ping had set up had been activated. This pure yang energy was of great benefit to humans, but to dark ghosts, it was lethal energy. They melted like snow meeting sunlight. The nether ghosts also came into contact with this pure yang energy. Their bodies immediately melted as if they were scalded, and they screamed miserably. Damn it, we've been tricked. We've been tricked. This hateful human set up a grand formation in Green Sun City. He wants to exterminate the nether ghosts in our city. Xiago, we won't let you go. We definitely won't. Just you wait. The Lord will avenge us. All of you must die. All of you must die. You will definitely not have a good ending. This world will belong to Dark Ghost. You have nowhere to run. You will undoubtedly die. The Dark Ghosts were panicked and terrified. They madly cursed and screamed. They were bound by the formation and had nowhere to run. They could only be killed by the power of the formation. In just a few breaths of time, nether ghost after nether ghost had been obliterated. No matter how they cursed or howled, it was of no avail. Every single one of them couldn't escape death. What a powerful formation. It's actually killed all the dark ghosts. Too powerful. Gu Bo and the other generals naturally heard the dying screams of the dark ghosts, as well as their final madness. Some of the dark ghosts knew that they were doomed, so they wanted to go on a killing spree and drag some ordinary humans down with them. Unfortunately, before they could even take a single step, they were burned to ash by the pure yang energy. They had fought against the dark ghosts for tens of thousands of years, so they naturally knew how terrifying they were. Every time they killed one, a large number of people would die, and each time there would be heavy casualties. But now, just by setting up a grand array, they had actually managed to annihilate over 100 nether ghosts hidden in Green Sun City. Such a great victory was truly rare. They now knew how terrifying Xia Ping was, and they rejoiced that they had not opposed Xia Ping. Otherwise, their fates would not have been much better than the dark ghosts. Some of the residents of Green Sun City heard the screams of the dark ghosts and the alarm bells. They were terrified and wanted to go out of their homes to see what had happened. But the army of Green Sun City had long since received the news. The soldiers were on the streets, comforting the people. They said that they had killed the dark ghosts hiding in Green Sun City. Now that the matter was over, everyone could rest assured. Whoosh! At this moment, Xiaoping waved his hand in the city lord's mansion. Under the guidance of the formation's power, the dark ghost's soul energy, scattered throughout the city, fell into his hand and was rapidly devoured. The mental flame on his body burned as fiercely as the sun. It had already reached the limit of the peak of the true fire realm and could no longer grow. In the depths of his violet palace, each divine ability talisman began to melt as the mental flame burned. Xiaoping immediately knew that this was the perfect opportunity for him to advance to the Golden Core realm. It would be like water flowing into a canal, and he would naturally be able to advance to a higher realm. However, to advance to the Golden Core realm, not only did he need a powerful mental flame, he also needed the support of boundless energy. After all, it was impossible to condense a golden core without the support of enough energy. Not to mention that he had a strong foundation, so the energy needed to condense a golden core was more than 100 times that of ordinary people. "Don't worry, Master." At that moment, the Green Ox's voice sounded. "Previously, I obtained the soul-cleansing grass and many other spiritual herbs. During this period of time, I've been refining these golden cores into elixirs. I call these elixirs the Divine Powers Elixirs. The energy contained in a single Divine Power Elixir is equivalent to the lifetime cultivation essence of a golden core perfected being and contains a tremendous amount of energy. Right now, I've refined a total of 20 Divine Power Elixirs. I believe that Master will definitely be able to step into the Golden Core realm easily with these 20 Divine Power Elixirs." Whoosh! It waved its hand, and 20 purple pills appeared in midair. There seemed to be many mysterious characters on them, as if there were talismans of divine abilities contained within them. They were profound and unfathomable, and emitted a noble and powerful aura. Without a doubt, these were the divine ability pills. Xiaoping could also sense the boundless energy contained in these pills. He estimated that the energy contained in a small spirit stone mine could not compare to the energy contained in a divine ability pill. Without another word, he immediately entered the city lord's mansion's cultivation room. Chapter 1535. In a certain valley, this was the territory of the goat-horned demons. It was filled with sinister demonic chi. The goat-horned demons were famous demons in hell, and their demonic power was extremely terrifying. Many dark ghosts had appeared in this valley, and their leader was the Faceless Ghost King. He still wore a mask and gave off a strange and sinister aura. One of the goat-horned demons, whose body was like a small mountain, sat on the ground and gave off terrifying demonic chi. He held a mountain-splitting axe that was almost tangible, and he looked down on all living beings. "Faceless Ghost King, why have you come to my place? Do you want to start a war with me, the Goat-Horned Demon King?" The Goat-Horned Demon King said in a muffled voice as he stared at the Faceless Ghost King. His cultivation had reached the early stage of the returning truth realm, and his strength was not inferior to the Faceless Ghost King. In the valley, the goat-horned demons stared at him like tigers watching their prey. It was as if they would swarm the dark ghosts if they dared to attack. "I don't want to start a war. I just want to join forces with you to destroy a human city," the Faceless Ghost King stated his goal. Hearing this, the Goat-Horned Demon King seemed to have heard a joke. "It's just a human city. Can't you, the Faceless Ghost King, destroy it? You actually want to ask me for help? Are you here to joke with me?" He laughed loudly, and the other Goat-Horned demons also laughed loudly. The Faceless Ghost King was unmoved and said seriously, "There's a human in that city. He's very powerful and has mastered Hell's fire, which specifically counters us dark ghosts. I sent over 1,000 dark ghosts to kill him, but they were all destroyed by him. If we don't get rid of this person, he'll definitely become a great enemy in the future. Perhaps both you and I will be killed by him." His expression was very serious. When he heard that over 1,000 dark ghosts had been killed, he was furious and wanted to immediately get rid of that human. But after his anger disappeared, he became cautious. Over 1,000 dark ghosts had not been able to test the human's bottom line, so he might have the strength to harm the faceless Ghost King. This made him even more cautious, and he came to find allies. Mastered Hell's fire? Is that true? How can a mere human have the right to master Hell's fire? Hearing this, the Goat Horn Demon King's pupils constricted, and a glimmer of light appeared in his eyes. The Hell's flames were not just effective against dark ghosts. They were also extremely harmful to Yaoma demons. Of course it's true. I don't need to lie. Although I don't know how the human managed to master it, there's no doubt about it. I suspect that he's not a human from this world, but from another world. The Faceless Ghost King voiced his conjecture. What? Another human world? The Goat Horn demons were all shocked. They didn't expect to hear this kind of news. Yes, and this is very likely. If we capture that human and interrogate him, we might be able to find the entrance to another human world. The Faceless Ghost King said in a deep voice, "This world is still too small. If we can find more human worlds, our strength will be further strengthened." Whether it was the Nether Ghosts or the Yaoma, to them, humans were precious flesh and blood medicine. Eating even one of them would increase their power and allow them to rapidly advance. Therefore, finding a new human world was equivalent to finding a treasure medicine mausoleum. The benefits were endless. There was no Nether Ghost or demon who could resist this kind of power. Don't you dare lie. Otherwise, this king will let you know the true meaning of the wrath of a Goat Horn demon. Even your formless mountain will be completely destroyed because of this. The Goat Horn Demon King stared at the formless, ghostly king with surging killing intent as he threatened. Of course it's true. The Faceless Ghost King was unmoved. This time, I'm not only planning on inviting you, the Goat Horn Demon King. I'll also invite the Venomous Centipede Demon King and the Slaughter Demon King. We'll work together with the 3 Demon Kings to kill that human. Hearing this, the Goat Horn Demon King's eyes lit up. How generous. You even dare to invite the Venomous Centipede Demon King and the Slaughter Demon King. Aren't you afraid that the other 2 Demon Kings will have too big of an appetite and devour you? If the Faceless Ghost King really dared to invite the other 2 Demon Kings, then this matter was definitely true. After all, no matter how arrogant the Faceless Ghost King was, he wouldn't dare to offend the 3 Demon Kings at the same time. That would be courting death. He was now 70 to 80% convinced of the Faceless Ghost King's words. I'm just afraid that their appetite isn't big enough. The Faceless Ghost King sneered. If we can find a new human world, it'll be a great benefit. I alone won't be able to devour it. Of course, I'll need to invite my allies to share it. Of course, more importantly, the human is very difficult to deal with. He has many abilities. If it's just me, he might be able to escape and slip away. But with the 3 Demon Kings and me, the Faceless Ghost King, taking action, no matter how powerful that human is or what powerful trump cards he has, he'll definitely die. He had already calculated everything. In order to kill the human Xiaoping, he would mobilize all his strength. Very good. If I can obtain news of a new world, I'll naturally be duty-bound. Tell me, when do we start? The Goat Horn Demon King was a little impatient. Don't be anxious. The Faceless Ghost King waved his hand. I still need to inform the other 2 Demon Kings, and you also need to mobilize all your forces. It'll take at least 2 to 3 days. At the same time, I also need to make all sorts of arrangements to prevent that human from escaping if something goes wrong. If that happens, everything we've done would be for nothing. We have to be fully prepared before we take action. It's fine if we don't take action, but once we do, we have to strike like lightning. He wasn't anxious at all. Although his heart was boiling with killing intent, he still endured it. Once everything was set up, the human Xiaoping would truly be unable to escape. Not bad. Then I'll leave this matter to you. 3 days later, we'll set out for Azure Sun City. The Goat Horn Demon King also knew that the human was staying in Azure Sun City. He was very satisfied with the Faceless Ghost King's cautiousness. This was the method of a successful person, absolutely foolproof. All right, let's do this. I'll go negotiate with the Slaughter Devil King and the Poison Nightmare first. The Faceless Ghost King stood up and bade farewell to the goat-horned Demon King. In the following days, he negotiated with the slaughtered Devil King and the poisoned centipede Demon King. Without a doubt, these two Demon Kings were also very interested in the New World, believing that it was a huge opportunity. The two Demon Kings agreed to work together with the Faceless Ghost King to set out for Azure Sun City and exterminate that otherworld human. At this moment, the people of Azure Sun City didn't know that they were about to face a calamity. They also didn't know that 4 Demon King-ranked demons had their eyes on Azure Sun City and that the army was about to arrive. They were currently immersed in the joy of a new city. They felt incomparably safe, and it was many times more comfortable than the Azure Sun City that was ruled by Gao Anqing. Chapter 1536. Whoosh! At that moment, in the depths of Xia Ping's purple mansion, the spiritual fire burned fiercely, almost covering every corner of the space. It was simply an earth-shattering sea of fire. But as he continued to compress it, the spiritual fire gathered together, compressed, condensed, and finally condensed into a sun, emitting endless heat. If such a spiritual fire exploded, it could instantly burn a large number of nether ghosts. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. One after another, the magical talismans also appeared in the depths of the Zifu space. The North Dark Body Protection Art, the Sun God Fist, the Star Attracting Art, the Azure Arch Longevity Art, the Chaos Thunder Technique, and other martial arts magical powers all appeared. These mystical talismans were guided by his consciousness into the depths of the sun's core. At that moment, the sun formed by the spiritual fire seemed to have turned into a furnace. The temperature reached tens of thousands of degrees, and even hundreds of thousands of degrees, crazily calcining these mystical talismans. Melt! Xia Ping used the pure yang immortal art and continuously calcined the mystical talismans. Immediately, the mystical talismans melted one by one, turning into a dark golden liquid. Mysterious runes and ancient characters flowed in the depths of the liquid. It was unfathomable. Under the perception of his divine sense, the powerful mystical powers in his body merged into one. Slowly, the dark golden liquid condensed and gradually formed a huge golden core. Immediately, he felt the magic power in the depths of his body surge wildly into this golden core. Like a black hole, it devoured all the energy in his body, as if it would not stop until he was sucked dry. If it was an ordinary golden core, the magic power in his body would be completely enough to supply it. The problem was that this golden core was really too big. It was like a rock ball with a diameter of 30 to 40 meters. If it was an ordinary golden core, the golden core would at most be the size of cobblestone. A slightly talented warrior would be the size of an egg, and a monster would be the size of a fist. But now, Xia Ping's golden core was frighteningly big. It had a diameter of 40 meters. To successfully condense such a golden core, the amount of energy needed was not something ordinary people could imagine. Fortunately, the Green Ox had refined the precious mystical pill in time. This was enough to make up for the energy he lacked to condense the golden core. Mystical pill. Without another word, Xia Ping felt an emptiness in his body. He knew that this was a critical moment. He could not be stingy. He immediately threw the mystical pill into his mouth and quickly refined and swallowed it. Rumble. A total of 20 divine ability pills entered his stomach and were rapidly refined by the sun furnace in his stomach. Instantly, a vast amount of energy gushed out, surging forth like a vast ocean. What a dense medicinal power! Xia Ping was shocked. He had taken many pills in the past, but none of them contained as much energy as the divine ability pill. It was simply extraordinary. However, this was to be expected. Just 20 golden cores alone were equivalent to the lifetime essence energy of 20 golden cores. Coupled with the assistance of the Green Ox and various precious spirit herbs, the medicinal effects of the Divine Powers Elixir were more than doubled according to the ratio. If one had to put it in perspective, the 20 divine elixirs were equivalent to the essence of at least 40 golden cores. Now that all of that energy had been devoured and refined by Xia Ping, one could imagine how massive the energy would be. He could not help but rejoice that he managed to kill some golden cores and snatch away their golden cores. Otherwise, how could he have obtained so many divine power elixirs to assist him in advancing to the golden core realm? Devour. Xia Ping used the pure yang immortal technique and felt that the golden core in the depths of his purple mansion was greedily devouring the massive energy like an insatiable Tao Tai. This caused the golden core to undergo a miraculous change. It was originally in a liquid state and hadn't stabilized yet. If there wasn't enough energy to stabilize the golden core state, it might completely collapse. This would also cause Xia Ping's consciousness to collapse, and he would die. Therefore, the process of forming the golden core was actually a dangerous process, and one couldn't be careless at all. This was why there were so few golden cores, and even in the entire universe, they were considered experts. But with enough energy, the process of forming the golden core wouldn't be interrupted. After an unknown period of time, Xia Ping was immersed in the process of forming the golden core. Gradually, the golden core stabilized and turned from a liquid state to a solid state. Dong! Suddenly, Xia Ping's body shook. When the energy of the divine powers elixir was completely devoured, the golden core in his body reached the perfected realm and stabilized. Golden core realm. Without a doubt, Xia Ping had finally stepped into the golden core realm. He felt that his body was filled with unparalleled power. It seemed that all his dermic powers and divine powers had merged into one. If he had to use the divine powers before, he would need to use his consciousness to outline the divine powers array, and it would take some effort. But after forming the golden core, he didn't need to do so and could use it instantly. When he was in the true fire realm, he could only use one divine powers at a time. But after forming the divine powers, he could use 2 or 3 divine powers at the same time. He could use the Sun God Fist with his left hand and the Lightning Fist with his right. Such power was many times stronger than the true fire realm. This is the golden core. Xia Ping's eyes lit up, and his consciousness was immersed in the depths of his purple mansion. At this moment, the golden core formed by countless divine powers and talismans was like a sun that hung high in the sky. Previously, the sun in the Zifu space was only illusory, but now, it had condensed into substance, as if a real sun had been born. Moreover, this golden Dan was dark gold, emitting a noble, ancient, and warm radiance, illuminating the ages and traversing the void. This golden core was even bigger than before. It seemed that during the process of forming the golden core, it had grown a lot bigger. Its diameter had already reached 50 meters. It was so big that it was scary. Even the hardness of a peerless spirit weapon was probably only at this level compared to this golden core. He could totally use this golden core as a Dharma treasure and smash someone to death in an instant. What a powerful divine powers! Xia Ping could feel that this dark golden core had produced an inexplicable wave. Deep inside the golden core, there were many divine powers, such as lightning, fire, trees, stars, ice, demonic chi, and so on. It was as if all the divine powers had been combined and completely condensed. He felt that in an instant, he could release multiple divine powers. The power of his divine powers had increased exponentially. He could even feel that there was a god living in the depths of the golden core. This god was none other than himself. It was his soul. He could feel that if the golden core continued to grow stronger, his soul would also undergo a transformation. It would break out of the golden core and condense into an essence spirit. Chapter 1537. The Purple Mansion space has also expanded. Xia Ping's divine sense was immersed in the Purple Mansion space. He found that the Purple Mansion space was many times larger than before. Its diameter had reached 1,000,000 kilometers, which was equivalent to a small world. The Purple Mansion space had also undergone earth-shaking changes. The land area had increased, the sea area had increased, and even the depths of the space exuded a rich aura of vitality. There were actually plants growing. Perhaps because of the golden core and the tree of world, the Purple Mansion space had turned into a spatial world that could allow life to survive, turning illusion into reality. If it continued to grow, the Purple Mansion space might turn into a real secret world. My divine sense has also expanded. Xiaoping felt that his divine sense power was also extremely powerful. It could instantly cover 1,000,000 kilometers, no matter how big or small it was. In his previous life, the diameter of the Earth was only 12,000 kilometers. Now, his divine sense had covered 1,000,000 kilometers, which was equivalent to covering the diameter of 100 Earths. Of course, this divine sense range was nothing for the vast universe, but it was quite shocking and unimaginable for a golden core perfected master. Xiaoping felt that his strength had increased more than 10 times after advancing to the golden core realm. If he were to deal with the previous him, he could kill him with one finger. One could imagine how many benefits he had gained from advancing to the golden core realm. I'm so hungry. Suddenly, Xiaoping felt that his body was empty, as if he hadn't eaten for 10 days and 10 nights. Condensing the golden core just now had exhausted all his dermic powers. Even the energy of 20 divine power pills could only provide him with the energy to condense the golden core. This also caused him to have no dermic powers in his body at the moment. Boom! Xiaoping activated the pure, yang, immortal art. This was the first time he had cultivated after advancing to the golden core realm. Immediately, his body seemed to turn into the center of a huge vortex. The essence chi of heaven and earth within a radius of 10,000 miles was attracted. Endless essence chi surged towards the center of Xiaoping's body and was completely devoured. The dermic powers in his body also increased at a speed visible to the naked eye. Wisps of essence chi were absorbed into the depths of the purple mansion. They quickly turned into liquid and turned into water, filling every corner of the purple mansion space. At this moment, the entire Qingyang city had also undergone earth-shaking changes because Xiaoping's cultivation state was too shocking. Where he cultivated in seclusion, a red cloud with a diameter of 1,000 miles gathered in the sky above the city lord mansion. The clouds quickly gathered and covered the sky. Many strange phenomena appeared in the depths of the clouds. There seemed to be a heavenly dragon flying in the sky and roaring at the sky. There was a Kuan Peng roaming in the sky, appearing and disappearing from time to time. There was a hell golden crow flying across the sky, illuminating the world. There was a thunder god holding a spear and controlling the heavenly punishment. Such phenomena appeared one after another, and it was like a legend or an epic. Heavens, why is there such a phenomenon? It must be the city lord. It must be the work of the city lord. I see. If it's the city lord, then there shouldn't be any problem. As expected of the city lord. To be honest, I suspect that the city lord is a descendant of the gods. Yang City Ping, everyone mansion chi chi. Yang City Chi in Yang City mansion space. Chi, the mansion lord mansion of star. Ping, everyone in Green Sun City was stunned by this sudden omen. They had never expected to see such a phenomenon. Every phenomenon that appeared shocked them inexplicably. But they weren't worried. Too many things had happened in the past few days, and they were already used to it. Wait, look, the essence chi is so dense. Yes, the essence chi is gathering together and compressing. Oh my God, it's condensing into spirit liquid. This is a rare treasure. Quick, bring out pots and pans and fill them with spirit liquid. If we miss this opportunity, we won't get another one. All of a sudden, the residents of Green Sun City felt the natural energy of heaven and earth grow dozens of times denser than before. It condensed into a solid liquid, and a rain of spiritual energy began to fall. Many weeds and small flowers grew rapidly on the ground. They were lush and lush. All the residents felt as if they were bathing in the spiritual rain. The injuries and illnesses on their bodies all disappeared, and they even felt as if they were cultivating under such circumstances. They seemed to be advancing at a tremendous pace, and their efficiency was extremely high. They immediately knew that this was the legendary spirit liquid. They felt that it was a miracle and a gift from God. They all went crazy and rushed home to take out pots and pans to fill the spirit liquid that fell from the sky. To them, it was no different from money falling from the sky. All of them were extremely grateful to Xiaoping. They knelt down and prayed. What's going on? Why is there such a phenomenon? The phenomenon started in the city lord mansion. It's probably Lord Xia's doing. I heard that Lord Xia was cultivating in seclusion to break through. Is this what happens after Lord Xia breaks through? Oh my god. Lord Xia was only a true fire realm. He just broke through to Golden Core realm. I've never heard of such a phenomenon happening when someone breaks through to Golden Core realm. I hope nothing happens to Lord Xia. Otherwise, Qingyang City will be in danger. Don't worry. This phenomenon is an auspicious sign. Lord Xia has already succeeded. There's no problem with his cultivation. Gu Bo and the others naturally noticed that the phenomenon started in the City Lord Mansion. Moreover, the center of the phenomenon was the City Lord Mansion. There was no doubt that it was Xia Ping's doing. Although Xia Ping had only been the City Lord of Qingyang City for a few days, they were filled with extreme reverence for him. Xia Ping had brought them hope for survival. This was something that the previous City Lord, Gao Anqing, could not compare to. In particular, the changes in Qingyang City were visible to the naked eye. Originally, it was just a dilapidated city, but after the construction of intelligent engineering robots, it had now become a real super city, incomparably prosperous. In fact, because of the existence of the pure yang evil punishing formation, no dark ghost dared to appear in Green Sun City. Until now, there had been no news of any dark ghost harming people. This made Green Sun City an extremely safe city, and it was unprecedentedly safe. And all of this was brought about by Xia Ping. In this chaotic, doomsday-like world, there was nothing that could compare to safety. If the other human cities found out about what had happened in Qingyang City, there would probably be countless people swarming over there. Therefore, Gu Bo and the others' reverence was sincere. However, Xia Ping did not know what was happening in the outside world. He was immersed in the process of consolidating his cultivation. Chapter 1538. City Lord, you've come out of seclusion. Xia Ping had just come out when a soldier noticed him and asked in surprise. Yes. How has Qingyang City been recently? Xia Ping nodded. The soldier immediately said in admiration, thanks to the City Lord, everything is fine in Qingyang City. People live and work in peace and contentment, and there are no more incidents of dark ghosts harming people. Everyone has enough to eat and wear. In this apocalyptic world, having enough to eat and wear was like living in heaven. Before Xia Ping had come, he had never imagined such a world. Even if it was a dream, he wanted to keep dreaming. Very good. Xia Ping was very satisfied. He had not caused any trouble in his seclusion, which was naturally a very good thing. Suddenly, he looked up. Within the range of his divine sense, there were 4 powerful waves of demonic qi attacking hundreds of thousands of kilometers away from Qingyang City. They were practically monstrous. The most terrifying of them all was the aura of the dark ghosts. It was as if they had come out in full force. It was not the 1,000 dark ghosts that had attacked him before, but 20 to 30,000. It could be said that Mount Formless had come out in full force. Their leader was naturally the Formless Ghost King. He gave off an abyss-like aura and was at least at the early stage of the returning nature realm. Apart from that, there were also 3 demon auras, each no weaker than the dark ghosts. They were clearly helpers invited by the Formless Ghost King to attack Qingyang City together. There are also Demon King level experts among these demons, no weaker than the Formless Ghost King. There's been no movement for so long. I thought these dark ghosts were afraid and had given up on revenge. I didn't expect them to be mobilizing their forces. Interesting. Xia Ping rubbed his chin. But they come a good time. I can use this opportunity to capture all these dark ghosts and demons in one fell swoop. Then everything within 1,000,000 kilometers will probably be completely safe. If he had only been at the true fire realm, perhaps he would have been a little wary of these Demon King level experts. But after advancing to the Golden Core realm, his strength had increased more than tenfold. Not only was he not afraid, he was even eager to try. If he could kill these dark ghosts and demons, it would definitely bring him endless benefits. He had just advanced to the Golden Core realm and lacked the energy of the dark ghosts and demons. This was a perfect pillow for him to sleep on. City Lord, did something happen? The soldier next to him frowned when he saw Xia Ping. Xia Ping said indifferently, something major has indeed happened. I can sense that the nether ghost and fiendish demon armies are attacking. Immediately summon the generals and close the city gates to prepare for battle. What? Hearing this, the surrounding soldiers were shocked. They didn't know how Xia Ping knew about these things from the city lord's mansion, but they knew that the city lord had no reason to lie. If the army of dark ghosts and the army of Yaoma really attacked, then today would be the day of destruction for Green Sun City. They had only had a few good days. How could they tolerate the destruction of Yaoma and dark ghosts? Yes, city lord. He hurriedly rang the alarm bell of the city lord's mansion, gathered all the generals, mobilized the army, closed the city gates, evacuated the citizens, and activated the heaven and earth formation in the city. 2 hours later, Xia Ping and the generals of Green Sun City had all ascended the city gates. Many elite soldiers were scattered around the city walls, weapons in hand, ready for battle. All the citizens were evacuated and arranged to enter the secret passageways of Green Sun City to avoid being affected by the battle. If anything was wrong, they could quickly escape through the secret passageways. Rumble, at this moment, yellow sand billowed in the distance. Demonic chi filled the sky, covering the earth and sky. Demonic clouds covered the sky, as if the entire world had been corroded by the demonic chi. This world had turned into a world of darkness and purgatory. All the soldiers could feel the ground tremble violently, and then they heard savage voices. "Ha ha! Little ones, we're here. We're finally here. The human city of Green Sun City is just ahead. I heard that there are millions of humans ahead. It looks like we're in luck today. Those humans are all mine. No one can stop me. Otherwise, they will die. Pitiful humans. I can almost see myself tearing apart their fragile bodies and listening to their cries. Blood, cries, war, slaughter, pain, despair. This is the world that we demons want to bring. Kill, kill, kill. Kill all these humans." Numerous demons the size of small mountains ran over, shaking the heavens and earth. With every step they took, the earth would crack and deep pits would be formed. Their imposing manner was terrifying, causing the legs of the onlookers to go soft. There were many demons, and they were split into 3 groups: goat horn demons, slaughter demons, and poison nightmares. Each demon army had 20 to 30,000 soldiers, and they were practically all elites. Among them, the goat horn demons wielded mountain-splitting axes. Their movements were slow, but they had boundless strength like giants. They wore black armor and were like heavy tanks, full of threat. The slaughter demons didn't have any weapons on them, but they had sharp claws. Their entire bodies were weapons that glowed with cold light. These claws were not inferior to any divine weapon, and a light claw could tear through steel. The most terrifying were the poison nightmares. They were like centipedes, and they constantly slithered over. They were sparse, and each one was 2 to 3 meters long. They were also extremely poisonous and emitted poisonous gas. As long as one was touched by the poisonous gas on their bodies, they would be poisoned to death in less than 10 breaths. We've finally reached Green Sun City. It's said that there's a human inside that can counter us dark ghosts. He even killed over 1,000 of our dark ghost brothers. This is a great enmity, a deep hatred, a blood feud. The human must die. No matter what background or power he has, he must die. No one can save him. What dark ghost nemesis? What a joke. Even a human dares to say such a thing. No one in this world can counter us. Today, the humans of Green Sun City will be completely annihilated. We'll make them regret being so stupid as to oppose us. We'll give those humans fear and despair. We'll make them feel the terror of us, dark ghosts. Terrifying dark ghosts appeared one after another. They flew in the air, bringing with them dark clouds. They laughed cruelly, seeming to draw out the deepest fear in the humans' hearts. Moreover, it wasn't just 1 or 2 dark ghosts, but 20 to 30,000. The Green Sun City soldiers had never seen so many dark ghosts before. It was like they were in hell. Heavens! Gu Bo and the others trembled, their legs shaking. Even though they were very confident in Green Sun City's defenses, facing so many demons and dark ghosts, they could not help but feel a wave of despair. let alone 4 groups of demons working together. Even a single group could destroy Green Sun City dozens of times over. Chapter 1539. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Just as the army of demons and dark ghosts approached Qingyang City, 4 imposing figures appeared in the air. They were the Faceless Ghost King, the Poisonous Centipede Demon King, the Slaughter Demon King, and the Goat Horn Demon King. Is this the human city? How insignificant. It's just a human city. To think that we 4 Demon Kings would need to take action. Isn't this making a mountain out of a molehill? You think too highly of these humans, the Slaughter Demon King said arrogantly. He felt that he alone was enough to destroy Qingyang City. There was no need for the other Demon Kings to join forces. They're indeed weak. In such a large city, only the City Lord is at the Golden Elixir Realm. The rest are at most at the True Fire Realm. There's no need for us Demon Kings to take action against such insignificant figures. Just the soldiers alone can slaughter them dozens of times over, the Poisonous Centipede Demon King said with a sinister laugh. His eyes were filled with disdain, filled with viciousness and viciousness. It's better to be safe than sorry. Besides, this human has too many secrets. No matter how cautious we are, we can't be too careful. The Faceless Ghost King said indifferently. He did not care at all about the 2 Demon Kings' disdain. Human. At this moment, the Goat Horn Demon King stood up and shouted angrily, I'm the Goat Horn Demon King. I order you to kneel immediately and beg for mercy. Hand over Qingyang City with both hands, as well as your many treasures. Don't even think about resisting. Against the 4 armies of demons and dark ghosts, you have no chance. You'll be reduced to dust in an instant. You'll die without a complete corpse, and blood will flow like a river. There's only one path before you, and that's to be slaves. You can't even die. If I, the Goat Horn Demon King, don't let you die, none of you can die. He exuded a terrifying, murderous aura. His demonic might filled the sky, almost enveloping the entire city and suppressing the world. Demons, Gubo stood up. You want us to surrender? Dream on. We won't surrender even if we die. We'd rather die in glory than live in dishonor. Even if you kill us, we'll break your teeth before we die. It'll be a great loss. His gaze was extremely determined. It was nothing more than death. He was not threatened by these demons at all. The soldiers of Qingyang City also gripped their weapons tightly. At this moment, they had no choice but to fight to the death. How dare you? The Goat Horn Devil King was enraged. Ants like you, lowly slaves, dare to dream of making us suffer heavy losses? What a joke. You don't even know your own worth. It was enraged to the extreme. In its eyes, when the army of demons and monsters arrived, these humans should be trembling in fear, crawling on the ground, kneeling and surrendering, becoming slaves, not daring to resist, or even waiting to be slaughtered. But now, he actually dared to boast shamelessly and boldly, saying that he would make them suffer heavy losses and make them lose a mouthful of teeth before he died. He was simply boundlessly arrogant. Could it be that the threat of the demons was so weak that even small humans did not take them seriously? Was it because the demons were usually too kind that this group of insignificant humans had forgotten the horror of demons? It swore that it would bathe Qingyang City in blood today and slaughter everyone in the city. It wanted to show these humans who looked down on fiendish demons what true terror was. Stop chattering here. You're just a fiendish demon, yet you dare to bark here? I've killed more fiendish demons than you've walked. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back. I'll give you 3 breaths to think about it. Immediately retreat and surrender. Otherwise, none of you will leave today. It'll be my loss if even one of you survives. Arrogant human, today this king will make you wish you were dead, wish you were dead. The Goat Horn Devil King's lungs were about to explode. It had never seen a human who dared to speak to it. Now its killing intent was boiling. Even without the cooperation with Faceless Ghostly King, it would still kill these humans. Goat Horn Devil King, don't be anxious. Faceless Ghostly King stopped the Goat Horn Devil King from attacking. This human is vicious and cunning. He's trying to goad you into fighting him head-on. We can't fall for it. Moreover, This human city is very strange. It wasn't like this before. It was probably modified by this mysterious human. It said that he even set up a heaven and earth array with boundless power. If we rashly enter, even if we are powerful, we might suffer a small loss. Why don't we send some soldiers to probe and see what trump cards he has? It's just a human city. It's as weak as an ant. What trump cards does it have? The goat-horned devil king sneered. Faceless ghostly king said indifferently, "It's good that he doesn't have any trump cards. Just the soldiers alone can flatten this city. Why not? It'll save us from wasting our strength." Makes sense. You're right. They're just small humans. There's no need for this king to make a move. Just the soldiers alone can kill them dozens of times. The goat-horned devil king wasn't an idiot. It knew what faceless ghostly king was afraid of. After all, the other party was a human from another world. Who knew what trump cards they had? They might be able to harm them. Hearing this, it didn't insist on its opinion. Instead, it readily accepted the advice. "Children, let's go and flatten this human city. Kill every single one of these humans. Don't leave a single one alive." Faceless ghostly king, venomous centipede devil king, killing devil king, and goat-horned devil king immediately gave the order. When the demons heard this, they immediately cheered. "Kiki, foolish humans. I gave you a chance, but you didn't surrender. Foolish to the extreme. Let's go. Tear the city wall apart. Kill all the humans inside. Kill, kill, kill." One after another, the demons roared. There were at least 100,000 of them. Although their numbers were far inferior to the human army, the individual strength of this group of demons was too strong. One of them could fight dozens of humans, especially the dark ghosts. They were the bane of humans. One of them could easily kill hundreds of humans. Rumble, they rushed over from all directions, like a tidal wave drowning the earth. Those demons are coming. Gubo and the others were extremely nervous. They felt as if their blood was frozen by the killing intent that was everywhere in the air. Earth Black Tortoise Formation. Xiaoping sneered. He immediately activated another heaven and earth formation in Qingyang City. This was a defensive formation. It absorbed the power of earth from the depths of the earth and formed a black tortoise-like defensive energy shield. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to break the defense of this heaven and earth formation. In an instant, a large formation rose from the depths of the earth. Countless earth element aura spread out from the depths of the earth, covering the entire Qingyang City at a speed visible to the naked eye. At this moment, Qingyang City was covered by a huge energy shield. It looked like the patterns of a black tortoise's shell. There were countless earth element runes flowing on it. It was earthy yellow and extremely thick. Bam! Bam! Chapter 1540. Gubo and the rest were shocked. The collision of tens of thousands of demons was about to flip the entire Qingyang City upside down. But with the earth black tortoise formation, this place was impregnable. The entire city seemed to be rooted deep into the ground, absorbing the power of the earth continuously. Although the collision of tens of thousands of demons was frightening, it was still unable to shake the defense of the earth black tortoise formation. It remained unmoved and was blocked outside the formation. What a strong defensive formation. Gubo and the rest were overjoyed. They had not expected the formation that Xiaoping had set up to be able to withstand the collision of tens of thousands of demons. Such a shocking impact was still unable to shake the formation in the slightest. Instantly, they felt extremely safe. They believed that with the defense of this formation, these demons would not be able to hurt them much in the short term. They would not be able to break through the defense of the city either. As expected, there's something strange about this human. To think that he could set up a heaven and earth formation to stop our attack. The faceless, ghostly king narrowed its eyes. It felt that it was right to be cautious. If they entered the city recklessly, the dark ghosts and demons might be heavily injured and suffer heavy losses. Strange my ass. Does that human think that he can stop the power of us demons with just a defensive formation? What a joke. Let's see if this defensive array formation can withstand tens of thousands of fiendish demons. Let's see if it can withstand hundreds of thousands of fiendish demons. All of you attack. Tear this city apart. The goat-horned demon king roared. He was displeased that the attacks of so many demons had failed. He immediately gave the order for the demons to attack together and tear apart the defensive formation. He wanted to teach this human a lesson. Rumble. The hundreds of thousands of demons roared angrily, as though they were angered by the actions of Qingyang City. A small human city wanted to stop them. That was a fool's dream. They split into 4 directions, north, south, east, and west, and attacked Qingyang City. As long as one of them was breached, only death awaited Qingyang City. I've been tricked. Xiaoping's lips curled into a cold smirk. He had been waiting for this group of demons to attack Qingyang City together. This was the perfect opportunity to wipe them all out. Destiny Treasure, Bell of Chaos. In an instant, a dark golden bell appeared above Xiaoping's head. It seemed to have a chaotic aura flowing around it, and there were many mysterious heaven and earth spirit designs appearing on its surface. Furthermore, when Xiaoping advanced to the golden core realm, the dermic powers in his body also tempered the chaos bell, increasing its quality and power significantly. Compared to before, it couldn't be mentioned in the same breath. Under Xiaoping's control, the bell of chaos immediately shook left and right, and a heaven and earth matrix appeared in his body. Each matrix imprint was like an imprint of the Great Path, resonating with heaven and earth. At the same time, the boundless heaven-earth baneful aura in a radius of 5,000 kilometers, even in the depths of the void, was absorbed into the chaos bell and entered the center of the heaven-earth array. Clang, clang, clang. With the bell of chaos as the center, it immediately produced a powerful sound wave that swept in all directions, covering a radius of thousands of miles. The sound of the bell was like the sound of the great Tao. It was crisp and pleasant, resounding throughout the world. When the residents of Qingyang City heard this sound, they felt as if they had received a baptism. It was like a morning bell that could wake them up from their days and allow them to enter a state of enlightenment. It could even temper their physique. Each time it rang, they felt their bodies relax, as if all the impurities in their bodies were being expelled. But to the many demons and dark ghosts, this was the sound of death. It contained a terrifying sound wave power that was like the tide of the sea, condensing into a tangible substance that wildly destroyed their bodies. Whether it was the demons with tough bodies that were impervious to weapons or the dark ghosts that could hide in the void, they all let out miserable screams when they felt the sound wave power. Bang, 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 bang. The goat horn demon, the slaughter demon, and the poison nightmare demon's bodies were immediately corroded by the terrifying sound wave. Their bodies shook back in 4,000s of times, destroying and shattering their organs. They couldn't withstand such destructive power at all. Their bodies exploded and turned into meat paste. The dark ghosts were the same. They felt that this sound wave was like a demonic sound entering their ears and a baneful aura entering their bodies. It constantly shook them, and even their consciousness was rapidly being obliterated. This was like the sound of a Buddhist bell, suppressing the dark ghosts and obliterating their consciousness. If the dark ghosts had no consciousness, then their bodies would dissipate and they would die completely. Not good. Run. Retreat. Retreat immediately. Seeing this, the faceless ghost king immediately shouted, its expression changing. It could feel the terror of this Dharma treasure. It could ignore defenses and dark ghosts, directly reach their bodies and invade their souls. This was the bane of demons and dark ghosts. The weaker dark ghosts and demons would be killed in an instant. Their bodies would explode, and they would die without a whole corpse. No, no, no. Great king, save me, save me. Damned humans. My head hurts, it hurts so much. No, spare me, spare me. Don't ring anymore. One by one, the dark ghosts and demons cried for their fathers and mothers. They sensed a fatal danger. They had attacked Green Sun City as quickly as they retreated from the city. They wished their parents had given them more legs as they fled the range of the bell of primal chaos. Only when these dark ghosts and demons were 100 miles away from Green Sun City could the bell of primal chaos no longer harm them. But even so, the ringing of the bell of primal chaos had caused more than 70% of them to die. Large numbers of demon corpses fell around Green Sun City, dripping with blood. It was like a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Damned human! The Goathorn Demon King, the Annihilation Demon King, the Venomous Centipede Demon King, and the Faceless Ghost King had faces as black as charcoal. They were inwardly furious and wanted nothing more than to tear Xia Ping to pieces. Because of their momentary carelessness, more than 70% of the demons and dark ghosts had died. They had suffered heavy losses. It had to be known that obtaining so many elite soldiers would require a great deal of time and effort. But now they were all gone, killed by that human. One could imagine the hatred in their hearts. They even wanted to slaughter Green Sun City. Many of the nether ghosts and demons were terrified to the extreme. Previously, they had been relaxed, thinking that this was just a casual war, a massacre, similar to how they had dealt with humans in the past. But the death of 70% of their companions completely woke them up. The city before them, no, the human before them, was completely different from the opponents they had encountered before. They were not on the same level at all. If they had been careless, they really would have been completely wiped out. Chapter 1541. Lord Xia is really too powerful. Gubo and the others cheered in excitement. They watched the scene unfold before them in disbelief. Those dark ghosts and fiendish demons had been so arrogant just now. There were hundreds of thousands of them, and they looked like they were going to flatten Qingyang City and wipe them all out. But now that the bell of chaos had rung, they immediately pissed their pants in fear and fled at a speed they had never seen before. Even so, they could not escape. At least 70% of the soldiers had died, and a large number of corpses were left at the bottom of the city walls. They piled up like a mountain, and the ground was littered with corpses. They had never seen so many fiendish demons and dark ghosts die. Without a doubt, even if they died now, it would be an epic victory. You're pretty fast at running. Xia Ping stood on the city tower and looked down with his hands behind his back at the group of fiendish demons. Didn't you want to slaughter Qingyang City just now? You were so arrogant. Why are you all running now? You. Hearing this, the group of fiendish demons was infuriated. They were not idiots and could naturally hear Xia Ping's sarcastic tone. He was clearly mocking their arrogance. You're not convinced? If you have the guts, continue attacking Qingyang City. If I can let even one of you escape this time, it'll be my loss. Xia Ping glanced sideways at the group of fiendish demons. Many fiendish demons looked at the bell of chaos above Xia Ping's head and could not help but shiver with lingering fear. If the bell of chaos continued to ring, the remaining 30% of fiendish demons and dark ghosts would probably be jolted to death. They could not resist the power of the sound waves at all. Even the physical defenses they were so proud of could not stop the sound waves at all. They instantly seeped into their lungs and destroyed their organs. Foolish human, you have completely infuriated me. The Goathorn Demon King stood up, his eyes burning with rage. Do you think you can stop us fiendish demons with a single Dharma treasure? What a joke. Today, I will let you know that no matter what you do, you will not escape death. Whoosh! In the blink of an eye, it held a black mountain-splitting axe in its hand, and its mountain-sized body came crashing down with a terrifying aura. Immediately, the axe chopped down from midair. The power of this axe was earth-shattering. It had the power to carry a mountain, tearing apart the air in a radius of 1,000 miles, creating a vacuum zone. It was as if even the earth would be torn in half in an instant. Clearly, the Goathorn Demon King couldn't take it anymore. It personally took action, wanting to crush this human Xia Ping and completely erase this city. Even with its power of the returning truth realm, it could easily kill these humans. It didn't need its subordinates at all. Xia Ping could feel the terror of this axe. If it was chopped down by the opponent, then the Earth Black Tortoise formation would not be able to withstand it and would be chopped into two halves. This was the power of the returning nature realm. With the power of the primordial spirit, one could easily mobilize the chi of heaven and earth to cover a radius of thousands of kilometers. One could even communicate with the energy in the depths of the dimension, allowing a returning Truth Realm martial artist to have infinite combat power. Lightning Fist. In the blink of an eye, Xiaoping soared into the air and punched out, condensing the tyrannical, lightning energy in his body. His punch penetrated through the air, causing lightning runes to appear everywhere. It was like a beam of light that tore apart the darkness of the night. Dong! The fist and the giant axe collided, producing earth-shattering power. The air condensed into a substance, turning into sound waves that spread out in all directions, causing the ground to crack. The aftershocks even reached the sky above Qingyang City, constantly bombarding the earth-black tortoise formation. The originally sturdy energy shield that could withstand the attacks of tens of thousands of demons actually had cracks appearing at this moment. Of course, it was just a moment's work. The formation quickly operated and repaired the cracks. As long as the defensive formation wasn't destroyed instantly, the formation would be able to recover quickly and maintain its strongest defense. What a strong power! Xiaoping stood in mid-air, facing off against the goat-horned Demon King. He could feel the terror of the axe just now. The strength of the goat-horned Demon King was already comparable to some races that were born with godly strength. Moreover, the opponent's defense was extremely strong. Even the power of lightning was blocked. Without a doubt, the opponent was an extremely terrifying demon. This human isn't simple. The goat-horned Demon King's expression was solemn. It could also feel the terror of Xiaoping's punch just now. Xiaoping's martial realm was a level lower than its, and he shouldn't be its match at all. But this punch contained the terrifying power of lightning. It even passed through the giant axe and bombarded its body. If not for its strong body and terrifying resistance, ordinary demons would have been smashed to smithereens instantly. Goat-horned Demon King, I'll help you. In an instant, the poisoned centipede Demon King attacked as well. Its body wriggled as it attacked Xiaoping. Whoosh! It immediately spat out a blob of venom from its mouth, turning into a black mist that covered 100 miles. Immediately, heavy rain fell, and every raindrop contained terrifying venom. When these raindrops landed on the ground, they instantly corroded a huge pit. Even the rocks were instantly melted, and at the same time, wisps of black smoke were emitted. Even the black smoke contained poison that could poison dozens of elephants to death. Go to hell, human. The Annihilation Demon King attacked as well. Its sharp claws pounced over like a tiger or leopard. The sharp claws tore through the sky, bursting with rays of black light. These rays of light tore through the void like death rays, containing the power of destruction. This was the slicing power unique to the Annihilation Demon King. There was nothing it couldn't cut. If it advanced to a higher demon realm, this power could even cut through space. But even if it didn't have such a realm now, just this slicing power alone wouldn't be able to block even a middle-grade defensive spirit artifact. It would be sliced into countless pieces in an instant. Appearance, sound, smell, taste, touch, life, bad, male, female. These are called the 10 phases, also known as formless. Human, fall into endless illusions. The formless demon king chanted softly, as if it was chanting scriptures from hell. Layers of unique mental waves emanated from its body, seemingly distorting reality and affecting the mind, forming a region. In this region, many illusions immediately appeared. Some illusions had many beautiful women in revealing clothes, constantly seducing. Some had countless evil ghosts with hideous faces, biting and tearing, as if they had fallen into the Avicii hell. Some had raging flames, like a flaming hell burning the soul. Such illusions appeared, constantly affecting Xiaoping's soul, trying to make him fall into an illusion forever. This was the terrifying ability of the formless Demon King. It could make an entire region fall into an illusion. Often, people who fell into it would die silently and be devoured by it. Chapter 1542. Xiaoping immediately sensed the power of the faceless, ghostly king's illusions. It was as if he had fallen into an endless illusion and everything around him was extremely real. He thought that he had been pulled into the world of hell. The scorching flames around him continued to rise in temperature. Even his skin could feel the heat. Beautiful women with voluptuous figures appeared one after another. Their skin was fair and smooth like silk. Even the fragrance they gave off was so wonderful and captivating. All of this was extremely real, and there were no flaws. Boom! At this moment, the blood in his body boiled, and a flame surged out from the depths of his soul. Instantly, these illusions were burned to ashes. It was as if a huge hole had been burned through a world. Although this bit of power of illusions was strong, it was still unable to fool the senses of the Golden Crow of Hell. But it had to be said that if he did not have the bloodline of the Golden Crow of Hell, he might really have fallen for the faceless, ghostly king's tricks. In a life-and-death battle, as long as one was distracted for a moment, they would be dead. The power of illusions of the faceless, ghostly king was truly a terrifying move to plot against the enemy. What a powerful power of illusions. However, it still can't do anything to me. Break. Xiaoping's eyes lit up. Endless flames swirled in the depths of his pupils as he let out a furious roar. Mystique of the dragon race, 7 Malice Dragon Roar. In an instant, a terrifying, malevolent aura surged out from his body and gushed out from his throat. He let out a roar that was like the birth of a heavenly dragon. There was an earth-shattering sound that could destroy everything. Such a sound wave could not only destroy physical matter, but it could also destroy the soul and penetrate the essence. Bang, bang, bang. In an instant, the illusions around him shattered like glass. The faceless, ghostly king also suffered a backlash and was sent flying. It let out a tragic cry and was severely injured. It felt as if its soul had been smashed by a heavy hammer. Go to hell, human. The poisonous centipede demon king roared angrily. Although Xiaoping and the faceless, ghostly king had fought for a long time in the illusion, only a moment had passed in reality. The venom on its body rained down on Xiaoping's body. It covered everything like a world-destroying venomous rain. As long as one was hit by the venom, their entire body would be corroded. In fact, if the venom invaded one's body, it would rapidly destroy one's vitality. Sun God Fist. Xiaoping took a step forward and punched the void. The fire energy in his body surged into his fist, condensing into a profound heaven and earth grand array. It was as if all the fire essence was condensed together. Vaguely, there seemed to be a golden crow of hell appearing in the depths of the flames. It spread its wings, raised its head to the sky, and let out a long cry. It was like a flame god that ruled over everything. Wisps of flames, even condensed into flaming runes that contained the power to destroy heaven and earth. Dong! This punch seemed to be able to shatter the heavens and the earth. It pierced through the sky and dispersed the dark clouds in the sky. Endless flames burned everywhere. As soon as the venom came into contact with the power of the flames, it quickly dissolved the formation. Even the poisonous gas was purified and burned into powder, leaving nothing behind. The poisonous rain collapsed and was completely obliterated. Even when the fist force seeped into the poisoned centipede Devil King's body, these flames seemed to have a mind of their own. They burned around the poisoned centipede Devil King, burning away the demonic aura in its body. It let out a miserable shriek as it was sent flying back. It used all of its power and a large amount of demonic chi to just barely extinguish the power of the strange flames. However, it was still seriously injured. Haha, it's done, human, die for me. Just at this moment, the demon king of annihilation arrived. With a pair of sharp claws, its face was malevolent as it slashed out tens of black lines through the void, seeming as though it was about to slice the space apart, containing a boundless sharpness. Even the sword chi of the Sword Dao Grandmaster is nothing compared to this cutting power. Dark North Body Protecting Technique. Xiaoping's mind moved at will, and the Dark North Body Protecting Technique was immediately activated. 108 layers of energy shields appeared on the surface of his body. Countless Kuan Peng runes swam, like an ocean, enveloping his body, forming a sphere. Bang, bang, bang. The cutting power of the Demon King of Slaughter blasted over and bombarded on the Dark North body protecting technique, making a sizzling sound, and the layers of energy shields were easily torn apart. In just a few breaths, its claws actually tore through 100 layers of defensive energy shields, and it was only a little bit away from touching Xiaoping's body. But when it reached the 101st floor, the pitch-black claws were blocked, as if their power was exhausted, and they couldn't go in at all. Impossible, the Demon King of Slaughter said. My cutting power is invincible. I can even tear through a mid-grade defensive spirit item. Why can't I break through your energy art defenses? Are you kidding me? The Demon King of Slaughter simply couldn't accept the absurdity of the situation. Its offensive power was unparalleled, and even among the demon devils of hell, it was one of the strongest. But now, this human was using a defensive energy art to defend against it. That was something that left it feeling like it was on the verge of collapse. Xiaoping had no interest in wasting words with the Demon King of Slaughter, so he simply unleashed a palm strike. Immediately, the Demon King of Annihilation's body fell from the sky like a rag, as if he had been slapped by a giant. His body was heavily injured hundreds of times. Bam! Its entire body was slammed into the ground, creating a huge crater that was hundreds of meters deep. Shocking cracks appeared on the ground around it. Worst of all, its lungs were severely injured, and it coughed up a mouthful of blood. Exalted Devil King. The demons and dark ghosts were all shocked by this scene. They couldn't imagine such a scene. A mighty Demon King, a supreme existence, had actually appeared in front of them. Moreover, it was the joint attack of the 4 great Demon Kings. Yet, this human had so easily neutralized the attacks of the 4 great Demon Kings. He had even easily defeated the 4 great Demon Kings. They could not help but gulp as they looked at Xiaoping in the sky with incomparable horror. They felt that perhaps he was not a human, but a Demon King from hell, just wearing human skin. Damned human! The faces of the goat-horned Fiend King, the Annihilation Fiend King, the venomous Centipede Fiend King, and the Faceless Ghost King were extremely gloomy. At that moment, they were unable to restrain their anger. As Fiend Kings, they were actually beaten to such a state by a Golden Core Realm human. It was simply a great humiliation. Although Xiaoping's attack had sent them flying and heavily injured them, given the powerful regenerative abilities of demons, they had recovered in a few breaths' time. This was one of the more terrifying characteristics of demons. Their regenerative abilities were many times stronger than humans. They were like geckos in the animal world. Even if they lost their limbs, given enough time, they could automatically regenerate them. Chapter 1543. That Pombin kill you just now? You're still as lively as a tiger? Xiaoping saw the goat horned Demon King, Slaughter Demon King, Venomous Centipede Demon King, and Faceless Demon King surround him again. Their auras were even more terrifying than before. They were clearly enraged. He couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Human, you really are amazing. You can challenge us Demon Kings with a golden core body. To fight to this extent, you must have cultivated a treasured body among humans. Your chi and blood are so thick that it's scary. Just based on strength alone, you can contend against us, and even reach a level that surpasses us. The goat-horned Demon King sneered. I have to say, you do have some skills, but that's as far as you can go. No matter how powerful humans are, there's a limit. In essence, you can't compare to us Demon Kings. So what if you can injure us? The recovery power of Demon Kings isn't something a puny human like you can imagine. As long as you don't kill us instantly, we can keep fighting and maintain our peak state at all times. But as a human, you don't have this kind of recovery power. There will come a time when your magic power is used up. That time will be the time of your death. You will die without a doubt. He looked down from above, confident of victory, and saw through Xiaoping's weakness. This human's body is very strange. It's a human treasure body. Everyone, don't eat it. If you can catch it and sell it in hell, you'll definitely make a fortune, enough to make up for all our losses. The venomous Centipede Demon King's eyes showed a greedy look. This king can't guarantee that. You just hit this king with a palm. This king must tear him to pieces and take revenge. The Slaughter Demon King was furious. He felt that being hit by a puny human was the shame of his life. If the other Demon Kings knew about this, he would lose all face. I don't care. As long as I can kill him, anything is negotiable. The Faceless Demon King's face was gloomy. He felt that this human was extremely dangerous. Even the illusion power that he was proud of couldn't do anything to him. He could be called the bane of Dark Ghost. Such an existence. He had to kill him even if he had to pay any price. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to eat or sleep in peace. You want to kill me? It seems you don't understand the situation. Who has the upper hand? Who is the existence that controls life and death? As long as I don't kill you instantly, you can quickly recover from your injuries. This is very simple. I can kill you with one move. Isn't there no problem? With a boom, Xiaoping made a grasping motion and pulled out a weapon from within the pearl of mountains and rivers. The Hell Spear. In the instant that the Hell Spear appeared, it seemed to stir the aura of Hell itself. The entire world trembled, as though the will of Hell itself had been triggered. Crash! In the blink of an eye, a tyrannical aura of Hell poured down from the distant space-time and seeped into the depths of the Hell Spear, as though it had been imprinted. Xiaoping immediately noticed that the Hell Spear had changed. First, numerous Hell's script appeared on the surface of the spear. It was almost like the scriptures of Hell, and it seemed to contain a mysterious, profound power. At the same time, its entire body glowed with a dark golden light. It flowed with the power of Hell, exuding a noble, ancient, and murderous aura. There seemed to be many saw teeth at the tip of the spear as well. Each sawtooth had an ancient mark on it, as though it was the mark of the great Tao. It contained a sharpness that could kill gods, and there was a hint of slicing power, but it was above slicing power. The moment that the Hell Spear moved slightly, it immediately erupted with a sharp power. It was as though the world was being sliced apart, and many figures appeared in the depths of the void. These figures were extremely tall, and their appearances were indistinguishable. However, there were many races. There seemed to be humans, oxen, horses, leopards, and so on. It seemed as though all kinds of races had appeared. These figures all held spears in their hands, and they performed various martial techniques of Hell, which had world-shaking power. What's going on? Xiaoping's eyes lit up. He felt that another layer of the seal on the Hell Spear had been unlocked, and it had evolved. It was as though it had obtained an imprint from the will of Hell, and it was recovering the power it had used to kill gods and demons. And the appearance of this imprint seemed to contain a strange power that could make the demons of Hell submit. The moment the Hell Spear appeared, the Goat Horn Demon King, the Slaughter Demon King, the Venomous Centipede Demon King, and the Faceless Demon King were all shocked. Their eyes were filled with horror, and they could not help but retreat several kilometers. They felt an instinctive fear, as though it was a fear that was engraved in the depths of their genes. It was an instinct. The Hell Spear. This is the Hell Spear that only the jailers of Hell can have. Even the demons and nether ghosts do not have it. Why is it in your hands? Who are you? The Faceless Demon King's eyes were fixed on the Hell Spear in Xiaoping's hand. Impossible. The jailers of Hell are all dead, and even the Hell Spear has disappeared. It has completely collapsed. It should not exist in this world. Where did you get it? The Slaughter Demon King's eyes were also wide open, and he could not believe it. It's good that you know this is the Hell Spear. Mastering the Hell Spear is equivalent to mastering the authority of the Nether God and the true meaning of death. You can walk between Hell and Hell. Xiaoping said indifferently. Seeing the authority of Hell, you demons and Nether ghosts should quickly kneel and surrender. Do you want to profane the dignity of the Nether God? He glanced at the demons. Fools! The Goat-horned Demon King laughed excitedly. I was the lowest level demon, unable to come into contact with the core of Hell. I lived like an ant, a life worse than death. Although I escaped from Hell and came to the human world, enjoying glory and wealth, I still could not let go. The Infernal King was believed to be the Infernal King's limit in this life. It was extremely tragic, and there was no way for this king to climb higher, but now, luck has taken a turn for the better. This king has encountered the Hell Spear. This is an unprecedented, fortuitous encounter. If I kill you and turn your bones to dust, I will obtain this Hell Spear. I will immediately obtain the authority of Hell and control the authority of the jailers. I will represent the Nether God and walk in Hell. Given time, I will be able to soar into the sky and become a demon god. It is not impossible for me to become the Lord of Hell. You want me to kneel and surrender? What a joke. Ignorant ant. The goat-horned demon king's figure disappeared as soon as he finished speaking. In the next second, it appeared beside Xiaoping and smashed its fist over. Like a falling meteorite, it shattered everything and turned the surrounding area into a vacuum. This punch was almost the pinnacle of the goat-horned demon king's attack. It was as if it could sink the land and evaporate the sea. Chapter 1544. In the face of the goat-horned demon king's all-out attack, Xiaoping remained unmoved. The Hell Spear in his hand stabbed at the goat-horned demon king. Hell-suppressing demon spear, first move. Nature. But Xiaoping immediately discovered that this spear technique was completely different from before. Its power had increased countless times. Perhaps it was because the Hell Spear had been imbued with the will of Hell, or perhaps he had advanced to the Golden Core realm, which greatly increased the power of the Hell Spear. Rumble, pictures of Hell were displayed. The scorching Hell, the freezing Hell, the starving Hell, and other Hells appeared in midair. They solidified, and every trace on them was like the traces of the great Tao. These pictures contained the supreme power of Hell, as though they were summoning the planes of Hell to descend. Dong! With just one strike, these pictures crushed down, and the goat-horned demon king's fist force was instantly shattered. It was like a dam meeting a flood, and it was instantly broken. Impossible! You have even mastered the martial arts of Hell. This is not a martial art that a human like you can master. How can you learn it? The goat-horned demon king was shocked and completely dumbfounded. It clearly felt that the human in front of it seemed to have transformed into a prison guard of Hell, walking in the space of Hell with a spear in hand. He specialized in killing demon gods and managing the order of Hell. This martial art had a great restraining effect on demons. When the aura of Hell permeated the air in midair, it instantly made the power of demon gods in its body stagnate. Even in the dark, the Hell Spear emitted the mark of the underworld, as though it could control its mind. When the spear stabbed over, it gave it the illusion that it was about to die, and its mind was in a trance. Xiaoping didn't waste any time with it. Another spear stabbed over, descending from the sky like a spear from beyond the heavens. It pierced through the sky and drew a dark golden trajectory in midair. Swoosh! The goat-horned demon king still didn't know what had happened. Its originally extremely hard body was instantly pierced by the Hell Spear, piercing through its chest. Blood dripped, and its body immediately felt intense pain. Impossible! I'm a demon king, a goat-horned demon king. How can I be killed by a puny human? I can't accept this. I can't accept this. The goat-horned demon king roared madly, extremely unwilling. Its body was the body of a demon. After years of tempering, its hardness was no less than a defensive Dharma treasure of a superior grade spirit artifact. But even so, in the face of the Hell Spear's sharpness, it was still of no use. With just a light thrust, its body was pierced through. Xiaoping circulated the magic power in his body and lightly shook his arm. The Hell Spear transmitted a tyrannical energy, and it immediately exploded inside the goat-horned Devil King's body. Bang! Immediately, the goat-horned Demon King's body was blasted into pieces. His flesh was a bloody mess, and even his soul was shattered. No matter how strong the fiendish demon's regenerative abilities were, it was impossible for them to come back to life in such a manner. Sizzle, Xiaoping could sense the Hell Spear trembling and glowing with a dark red light. The blood on the ground seemed to have a mind of its own as it flowed along the spear and into the depths of the Hell Spear. Apparently, all of the demon devil power in the goat-horned Devil King had been sucked dry by the Hell Spear. In the blink of an eye, the goat-horned Devil King had been reduced to a desiccated corpse. At the same time, He could feel pure energy flowing from the depths of the hell spear into his limbs and bones, activating his golden crow of hell bloodline. 10,000 cells, 50,000 cells, 150,000 cells. In the end, he had awakened a total of 200,000 golden crow of hell cells. His strength had also been tempered by the golden crow of hell bloodline, becoming even stronger. His body seemed to have become more perfect, and his body was emitting a sacred and ancient aura. Clearly, the blood essence of a Restoration Realm fiendish demon had brought great benefits to him. Although most of the energy had been devoured by the Hell Spear, leaving only a small portion for Xiaoping, the benefits were still unimaginable to ordinary people. Damn it, we can't let him continue growing or we'll all die. Kill this human. The Hell Spear is our Hell's weapon. It's not something a puny human can obtain. Don't hold back. Kill him instantly and destroy his soul. Feeling Xiaoping's aura rising and strengthening, the venomous centipede Devil King, Slaughter Devil King, and Faceless Ghost King's expressions changed drastically. The current Xiaoping was already troublesome enough. If this human continued to grow and become stronger, wouldn't he be able to crush them with a single finger? They would definitely not allow such a thing to happen. Don't hold back. What a joke. So what if you guys use your full strength? All of you will die. Xiaoping sneered. He struck first to gain the upper hand. Before the three demon kings could make a move, he had already made his move. He gripped the Hell Spear tightly, and the martial Dao information regarding the Hell suppressing demon spear surged into the depths of his brain. He was now in a state of enlightenment, and his understanding of this martial art had deepened. Almost instantly, he immediately comprehended the second style of the Hell suppressing demon spear, Slaughter. Boom! Xiaoping's body immediately surged with violent killing intent, as if he had absorbed the endless baleful aura from the depths of hell. His entire being had transformed into a fiend god that controlled life and death. He wielded the Hell Spear and slashed down at the venomous centipede Devil King at the very front. Xiao xiao xiao. In an instant, black traces appeared as if they were tearing through the void. Such black rays contained even more terrifying cutting power than the slaughtered Devil King, and they emitted a spatial aura. Countless black rays appeared and intertwined with each other, forming an earth-shattering death net that enveloped the venomous centipede Devil King's body. No! The venomous centipede Devil King shrieked. It used all its strength in an attempt to block, but it was all useless. The poisonous mist and venom were instantly sliced into pieces. Even the power of slaughter reached its body. With just a light swipe, its hard outer shell was as fragile as tofu. With a crack, it was instantly sliced into dozens of pieces, turning into minced meat. This power of slaughter even seeped into the soul and destroyed it. Pung! The venomous centipede Devil King merely let out a cry, and it fell into endless darkness. Its soul was harvested by the Nether God. This was a style that obliterated the soul, and it was also extremely harmful to the Nether Ghost. At the same time, the Hell Spear shook and produced an extremely powerful suction force. The venomous centipede Devil King's flesh and essence were also rapidly devoured, turning it into a dried corpse. Then, with a gust of wind, it turned into powder and scattered with the wind. Xiaoping's body immediately gained a pure flesh and blood essence, and the Hell Golden Crow cells were also rapidly increasing. Damn it, we can't do it anymore. This human's momentum is already set, and we are no match for him at all. We have to invite demon emperors and above to eliminate this human. Run. Chapter 1545. Whoosh. The demon king of annihilation turned into a beam of black light and streaked across the sky, fleeing into the distance. It couldn't care less about its subordinates' lives anymore. It was better to escape first. Escape? Where can you escape to? Offend the god of the underworld. Even if you descend to the 18th level of hell, you won't be able to escape death. Xiaoping sneered and stabbed out with his spear again. Immediately, a black energy formed from the power of hell shot out. It was like a ray of death, piercing through the sun and tearing through the void. It was so fast that even divine senses couldn't catch it. You want to kill me, the Demon King of Annihilation? It won't be that easy. The Demon King of Annihilation felt fatal danger. Its hair stood on end. All the cells in its body were warning it that if it was hit by this move, its soul would definitely be destroyed and it would die a horrible death. Death-slicing matrix. It roared and mobilized all the demonic power in its body. A matrix was formed in the void. Rays of light surged out from its body and sliced through the void. In a single breath's time, the grand formation was formed. It was like a chessboard, filled with densely packed cutting lines that contained terrifying destructive power. This was the Demon King of Annihilation's strongest move. It had once used this move and instantly destroyed a human city with billions of people. The living beings inside were sliced into countless pieces. Even the ground it covered was sliced into powder and turned into a state of void. Humans and animals were all killed. The hell spears shot over, slicing through the void and slamming into the death-slicing matrix. Immediately, the chessboard shook violently. Dong! The chessboard was pierced by the hell spear's power and collapsed completely. Even the cutting lines were shaken into a ball of energy and dissipated into the air. With a puff, the Demon King of Annihilation couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. The Matrix's destruction caused it to suffer a backlash. Its body was injured, and even its soul was injured. But not only was it not angry, it was extremely happy. Instead, it used the impact of the spear to flee far away. In an instant, it had fled for tens of miles. Clearly, it didn't think its death-slicing matrix could block the power of the Hell Spear. It just wanted to block Xiaoping's attack and escape. You can't escape. Xiaoping sneered. His body bent like a bow, and he held the spear. His aura was like that of an ancient god. In an instant, he threw the spear out. Xiao! This spear had locked onto the Demon King of Annihilation's mental aura, and it tore through the air like a shooting star, carrying with it the power of slaughter as it attacked with lightning speed. It's over. Before the Demon King of Slaughter could rejoice at having escaped, it turned around and its pupils constricted. A dark golden spear pierced towards it, tearing through the air. Dong! In the next second, its demonic body was pierced by the Hell Spear and nailed to a stone wall. At the same time, the Hell Spear's power exploded out, and the Demon King Demolisher's body was shattered. Even its soul was destroyed by the power. That mountain couldn't withstand such a shocking impact. Kacha! It cracked from the middle and was forcefully torn into two. Even the ground had a fissure that was hundreds of kilometers long, like an abyss. Buzz! The Hell Spear trembled and gave off a dark red light, producing a devouring power. Immediately, the huge body of the Demon King of Slaughter withered rapidly and turned into a dry corpse. Its blood and chi were all devoured by the Hell Spear. For the Hell Spear, the demon blood was a great supplement. It was a kind of energy that could repair the Hell Spear. Xiaoping also felt a warm current coming from the void. His body crackled, and the golden crow of hell cells in his body increased by hundreds of thousands. His power increased greatly. Faceless Ghost King, where do you think you're going? Xiaoping's heart skipped a beat. His divine sense sensed that the Faceless Ghost King was also trying to escape from the battlefield. It was formless and floated with the wind silently. Its speed was many times faster than the Demon King of Slaughter. As the king of the Nether Ghost tribe, its ability to survive was top-notch. Moreover, it was extremely cautious. When it saw that the situation was not good, it would immediately flee. Therefore, when Xiaoping killed the two Demon Kings, it looked for a way out and quickly fled. As expected, it fled several hundred kilometers away. It believed that no matter how fast the human was, he would not be able to catch up to it. Damn human, just you wait. You will become the enemy of my Nether Ghost tribe. No, I should say all the demons in hell. The Faceless Ghost King said with a sneer, You have no idea what it means to obtain the Hell Spear. It will bring you great disaster. Even a demon god will personally come to kill you. You're dead for sure. You'll live in eternal fear for the rest of your life. At this moment, It had witnessed Xia Ping's true strength. It knew that with its current strength, it could not do anything to this human who possessed the Hell Spear. It could only retreat strategically. However, the Faceless Ghost King would remember this grudge. When it gathered more demons, no, it should find demon emperors or even demon emperors, this human would definitely die. Even with the help of the Hell Spear, it would be useless. I don't know if I will die in the future, but you will die today. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back and looked calmly at the Faceless Ghost King in the distance. Ridiculous. The Faceless Ghost King said disdainfully, the distance between us is more than several hundred kilometers. No matter how powerful you are, how can you kill me? If I, the Faceless Ghost King, want to escape, a puny human like you will not be able to catch up. Although its battle prowess was not as good as Xiaoping's, the Nether Ghost Tribe's speed was renowned even among the many demons. There is no need to chase. I have already left a secret technique on you. You will die without a doubt. Xiaoping's eyes were indifferent. His divine sense immediately triggered the hell golden crow flames in the Faceless Ghost King's body. Impossible. When did you leave a fire seed in my body? The Faceless Ghost King's expression changed drastically. It felt a ball of flames immediately erupt from its body. It burned fiercely and contained a divine bird that contained divine might. Moreover, this ball of flames was growing at a visible rate, devouring the Faceless Ghost King's soul energy. Its state was extremely unstable. It was like a high explosive that was about to explode. It was when I first fought with you. Xiaoping sneered. When he first heavily injured the Faceless Ghost King, he had left a fire seed in the Faceless Ghost King's body. This was because the Hell Golden Crow Fire Seed could simulate the aura of hell, so it could fool the Faceless Ghost King's senses. Like a parasite, it quickly parasitized the Faceless Ghost King's body. After such a long time, this fire seed had already absorbed enough energy. With a thought, he instantly detonated this fire seed. Bang! Immediately, the Faceless Ghost King let out a tragic cry. Its entire body was blown to pieces, and its consciousness was destroyed. The Hell Golden Crow flames burned its consciousness into nothingness. Chapter 1546. Percent? RV? C? R? T? H? 0? P? C? H? Dollar? A? G? H? F asterisk CK? H? Dollar? H? P? Dollar? F asterisk CK? Chapter 1547. One day later, Formless Mountain. This was a ghostly mountain that was 10,000 meters tall. It was filled with barren mountains and unruly rivers, and above the mountain was a black hole that connected to hell. Since ancient times, this had been a place where humans had disappeared. There was no life here, and it was filled with ghostly chi. However, today was different. The Qingyang City army had arrived with great momentum, scaring the dark ghosts into fleeing. Unfortunately, before these dark ghosts could escape, Xiaoping acted and instantly froze the entire mountain, turning it into an ice mountain. Anything within this mountain would be frozen into an ice sculpture. As for the dark ghosts left behind, they naturally could not escape and were killed by the Qingyang City soldiers. However, there were not many dark ghosts left behind, only 10,000, and their strength was only average. As such, Xiaoping did not obtain much soul energy, but it was better than nothing. The Qingyang City soldiers felt that it was a pity. They had wanted to kill the dark ghosts to show Lord Xia their bravery, but before they could do anything, the dark ghosts had been wiped out by Lord Xia. The only thing they could do was to clean up the formless mountain, plunder the treasures, and carry the treasures back from the formless mountain as porters. It looks like these dark ghosts have collected a lot of treasures. Xiaoping came to a flat area where a large number of treasures from Formless Mountain's treasury were piled up. He immediately noticed an enormous black jade stone placed to the side. This was actually a bed that had been found in the Formless Ghost King's room. It gave off a terrifying netherworld aura, and ordinary people would get frostbite if they approached it. Even the ground was frozen. "Corinne, do you know what this is?" Xiaoping asked. Corinne glanced at it and said excitedly, "If I'm not wrong, this is a hell frost stone. It contains the frigid netherworld aura of hell and is extremely cold. It is one of the wondrous stones of heaven and earth. This is an incredible treasure. If you take it out to auction, you can sell it for at least a few billion universe dollars. After all, there are too few treasures from hell. However, I suggest that you don't auction it off. If you sell a treasure like this, I'm afraid you won't be able to find it again. True top-notch treasures can't be bought with money. You can only barter with other items." "Auction? Of course not. I plan to use it for cultivation." In fact, as soon as Xiaoping saw this stone bed, the Nine Heavens' mysterious underworld force in his body began to tremble. It had a strong desire, and it could not wait to devour this ice bed immediately. The Ninth Heaven mysterious dark force was one of Mingwei Court's saint-level skills. It was extremely powerful and could devour all kinds of ice chi in the world. The more ice chi it devoured, the more powerful the skill would be. If he swallowed the hell frigid stone, the power of his Nine Heavens mysterious underworld force would increase by several folds. Once the frigid ice chi was released, it could even freeze the souls of his enemies. This was the terrifying aspect of hell's cold chi. Even ordinary defensive magic treasures could not withstand it. "Master, look at that place. It's the underworld. It's all the underworld. Hurry up and plunder the soil." At this moment, the green cow seemed to be unable to hold it in any longer as it shouted out, "The underworld?" Xiaoping looked around and discovered that the formless mountain was covered in reddish-black soil that emitted the aura of the netherworld. It seemed to contain a deep level of netherworld energy. "Master, this underworld is not simple. It would only appear in hell. It's one of the special types of soil in the world. Although it's not as valuable as the Nine Heavens living soil, it's still very useful." The green cow hurriedly said, "If Master plunder this underworld soil and put it in the space of the pearl of mountains and rivers, not only will you obtain a piece of underworld soil, you can also plant all kinds of strange plants. Even if the Nine Heavens living soil obtains a large amount of underworld soil energy, it would be able to promote its evolution, allowing it to quickly cover the entire space of the pearl of mountains and rivers. The benefits are endless." It hoped to plunder this underworld soil clean. Xiaoping knew that even though the Nine Heavens living soil was constantly devouring chaotic energy and expanding its surface area, it had only expanded by a small amount after such a long time. If he wanted to turn the entire space into the Nine Heavens living soil, based on the current progress, it would take at least tens of years or even hundreds of years. However, according to the green cow, obtaining this underworld soil could shorten the time by at least a third. Is there such a thing? Plunder immediately. Xiaoping's eyes immediately lit up. To think that this soil was actually a treasure. Naturally, he would not miss out on this opportunity. He immediately made a move, plundering the underworld soil on the formless mountain. Many of the Qingyang city soldiers were dumbfounded. They had heard of the proverb, "Plunder 3 feet of the ground," before. This was used to describe a person's greed. However, they had never seen someone actually do something like this. Moreover, the person who did this was the city lord that they revered like a god. This was clearly trying to plunder the last bit of value from the formless, ghostly king's lair. For some reason, they felt a little pity for the formless, ghostly king. After working hard for thousands of years to find so many treasures, all of them ended up benefiting Xiaoping. It was really like working hard for someone else. What is this? After Xiaoping plundered the formless mountain's underworld soil clean, he continued to search for treasures. Then, he found a secret manual with a black leather cover among the treasures. There were strange Hell's text on it, and since he had obtained the legacy of the Hell's Spear, he naturally understood the Hell's text. It read, "True knowledge of illusions." Could this be the true, secret technique of the formless, ghostly king? Xiaoping immediately recalled that he had almost found the formless, ghostly king's Tao and was deceived by its illusions. If it weren't for the fact that he had the Hell's golden crow bloodline, which allowed him to see through illusions, he would have been in deep trouble. Initially, he had thought that this was the formless, ghostly king's innate mystic ability. But from the looks of it, that was not the case. It must have obtained this true knowledge of illusions from somewhere and cultivated an incredible ability. This is a good treasure. I'll study it later. Xiaoping immediately put the secret manual away. As the saying went, it was never a burden to have more skills. If he could learn this technique, he would most likely have another new trump card. He continued to search, but did not find any special treasures. There were only a large number of underworld stones, some ores, spirit herbs, and other things. Other than that, there was nothing else. Following that, he continued to plunder the formless mountain, not letting even a single stone go. Only when there were no more treasures left did he choose to give up. Is this the black hole that leads to hell? After doing all that, Xiaoping finally turned his attention to the black hole above the formless mountain. It was about the size of an ordinary cave, and it was pitch black. There was a strange whirlpool inside that kept spinning. From the depths of this black hole, the roars of demons and underworld ghosts could occasionally be heard. It was as if there were countless underworld ghosts and demons that could not wait to run out from the depths of the passageway. But this passageway was too weak. Demons and underworld ghosts whose strength surpassed the returning truth realm middle stage could not come out. They could only be blocked inside hell. Chapter 1548. This passageway is too dangerous. I can't go in. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He could sense that there were countless demons and dark ghosts guarding the end of the passageway. If he dared to go in, what awaited him would be a demon nest. He would die without a doubt. Of course, if he had absolute strength, he could still slaughter all these demons. The problem was that he was only at the Golden Core realm and could not do as he pleased in the Hell Plane. He immediately gave up on the idea of entering the Hell Plane through the formless mountain's black hole. It was probably the same situation with the other 8 black holes that led to the Hell Plane. Countless demons and dark ghosts wanted nothing more than to escape from the Hell Plane. They were constantly paying attention to the situation here. Gubo, are there only 9 entrances to the Hell Plane? Xiaoping asked. Gubo thought for a moment and said, City Lord, that's not the case. Actually, some small black holes will occasionally appear. However, these black holes are very small and unknown, so not many people know about them. Some black holes only exist for a short period of time before disappearing. That's why there are only 9 known black holes. This is the most significant. Hearing this, Xiaoping's eyes lit up. If he could find a small black hole, he might be able to enter the Hell Plane and not have to worry about being surrounded by the demons and dark ghosts of the Hell Plane. After all, he had entered the Hell Plane to search for fortuitous encounters, not to be killed by demons. Forget it. Let's go back. Xiaoping waved his hand. Since there were no more treasures on Formless Mountain, there was no need for him to continue staying here. Several days later, in the City Lord residence of Green Sun City, after a few days of cultivation, Xiaoping had finally consolidated his cultivation. He had completely digested the tremendous blood energy he had obtained from the demons and dark ghosts. This had also awakened 3 million hell crow cells in his body. His blood energy was like a dragon, and the blood flowing in every blood vessel seemed to be the roar of a heavenly dragon. His heartbeat was also powerful. With each beat, the power it released could shatter steel. His physique had been strengthened to an even higher level. Even the dermic powers in his body had increased significantly. It was equivalent to 100 years of cultivation. The energy in his golden core was also much more condensed and dense than before. If he could kill more than 10 fiendish demons of the Demon King level, he might be able to raise his cultivation to the middle stage of the golden core realm. Unfortunately, after eliminating the faceless Demon King, the Slaughter Demon King, the Goat Horn Demon King, and the Venomous Centipede Demon King, there were no more Demon King level demons within a radius of several million kilometers. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. "Congratulations, host. You have attracted the hatred of a large number of nether ghosts and demons. This time, you have received 1 billion hatred points. Currently, your total hatred points have reached 5 billion. I hope you will continue to work hard." Xiaoping was very satisfied. He got 1 billion hate points, and the hate points from buying the Universal Translation Fruit could be considered to have been made up. It was a pity that there were too few demons and dark ghosts. If there were more of them, they might have gotten more aggro. However, his harvest this time was not just hatred. He felt that the biggest gain was the strange white mask he obtained from the faceless Ghost King. After careful research, he finally discovered the secret of the white mask. It was a Khanate Dharma treasure, an existence on the same level as the Compass of Wishes. When Xiaoping completely refined the white mask, he finally found out the name of the mask. It was called the Faceless Mask. As long as he wore this mask, he would have the ability to transform into all kinds of creatures. Moreover, it was so lifelike that even a sage wouldn't be able to detect it. Originally, the Faceless Ghost King was a weak nether ghost with no potential to speak of. However, after accidentally obtaining this mask in the depths of hell, it had used this magic treasure to transform into other creatures and escaped death countless times. Fortunately, Xiaoping had planted a fire seed in the Faceless Ghost King's body in time and killed it instantly. Otherwise, if the Faceless Ghost King transformed into other creatures, it would probably be difficult to find its whereabouts. Therefore, the Faceless Ghost King was full of confidence and believed that no one could kill it. Unfortunately, it still met its nemesis, Xiaoping. What a treasure! Xiaoping put on the mask and could feel the profoundness of this magic treasure. With a thought, he immediately transformed into various animals: tigers, cheetahs, rhinoceroses, mosquitoes, flies, and so on. Moreover, this was not an illusion, but a real change. From the body to the soul, it had undergone an earth-shattering change. It had indeed become such a creature, just like the legendary 72 earthly fiend transformations. That was why the sage couldn't detect it. Whoosh! With a thought, Xiaoping transformed again. He actually transformed into a great beauty with a height of 7 meters and a voluptuous figure. Her body exuded an enchanting aura, flirtatious and extremely hot. He touched it up and down. It was very real and had a very texture. I can actually really transform into a woman. This was the first time that Xiaoping had this kind of novelty. He felt a heaviness in his chest. Something essential was gone, making him feel weak in his heart. It was as if he had really become a eunuch. In just a moment, he immediately transformed back. He was afraid that if he transformed for a long time, his sexual orientation would change. Not a bad ability. If I can transform into a woman, wouldn't I be able to enter the women's bathhouse at will and do this kind of thing? To be honest, Xiaoping had already thought of 108 ways to sneak into the women's bathhouse. When Azure Ox and Corinne heard this, the corners of their mouths twitched. They were very speechless. The Faceless Mask was a dignified, innate magic treasure. It was incomparably precious. Even the sage would drool over it. Yet, He actually wanted to use it to do this kind of shameless thing. However, aside from the faceless mask, Xiaoping felt that the most precious thing was that true book of illusions. This true book of illusions was not created by the faceless Ghost King. Rather, it had inadvertently obtained it in an ancient ruin in the infernal realm. It recorded the true essence of all kinds of illusions. The faceless Ghost King guessed that this secret book was most likely the lifetime essence left behind by a certain illusionary supreme being. After all, there were far too many experts in the infernal realm. There were gods and demons that had existed since ancient times, as well as supreme beings that had descended from countless planes. It was not surprising for one of them to be proficient in illusions. After the faceless Ghost King obtained this true book of illusions, it would often be able to challenge those of a higher realm and scheme in secret. Even Dark Ghost, who was more powerful than it, would not be able to kill it. Even if it wanted to carry out a human wave attack, it would also be a joke. Once it used illusions, it would be an indiscriminate, large-scale attack. If one's soul power was insufficient, they would be trapped forever. In truth, this true book of illusions was somewhat similar to the six-hell demon tome that Xiaoping had cultivated before. However, the six-hell demon tome was a kind of demonic cultivation technique that evoked the 7 emotions and 6 desires of living beings. Chapter 1549. Marvelous, truly marvelous. Xiaoping comprehended the contents of the true explanation of illusion. The more he understood, the more he felt that this secret technique was great and unfathomable. It contained endless information. What is an illusion? It is to deceive the senses of living beings, making them believe that it is real. This is an illusion. But how can one display a real illusion? Some illusions are so inferior that even a 3-year-old child can't deceive them. Some are so excellent that even a sage can't see through them. What is the difference between them? The key lies in the details. In fact, illusions and lies are similar. How to tell a successful lie depends on the devil's details. For example, when I was a child, I told my mother that I went to a friend's house to study. In fact, I went to an internet cafe to play games. If I just said that I went to someone's house to play, my family wouldn't believe me. But what if I filled in the details? For example, I went to Li Ming's house. His house is a 150 square meter house with 4 rooms and 2 living rooms. There are green potted plants everywhere. There is also a 55-inch LCD Sony TV. The gray Cafua sofa is very soft and comfortable to sit on. I want to lie down and sleep on it. Later, when Li Ming's mother saw me, she warmly welcomed me and invited me to lunch. She made stir-fried duck with fresh ginger, tricolored eggs, wild mountain pepper, and beef tripe, and fried tofu. The taste was pretty good. In the end, I also ate some cream cookies before riding my bike home. In this way, I don't know how many times more realistic it is. This is a true lie, and very few people can see through it. The same principle applies to illusions. To create a real illusion, you need countless details. For example, if you want to create a sea of fire, it's not as simple as the flames. The color of the flames, the pressure of the surrounding air, the smell of burning, and even the degree of heat of the flames are all different from the inside to the outside. If you want to create a grassland, you need more details. Black soil, green weeds, the fragrant smell of the soil, the smell of weeds, and the breeze on the grassland. There are also various creatures on the soil: ants, microbes, ladybugs, squirrels, and so on. This conceals the human's 5 senses: hearing, sight, taste, and smell. Only by repairing the details to this degree can it be considered success. To achieve this without a strong enough spiritual consciousness talent, it is impossible. This is the so-called illusion talent. Fortunately, Xiaoping's spiritual sense was unprecedentedly powerful. It was not something that ordinary people could compare with. Even among the races that were proficient in the power of spiritual sense, only a few could compare with him. Regarding this illusion technique, he was like a fish in the water, and he was able to learn it almost immediately. 1 month later, Xiaoping finally came out from his closed-door seclusion. He had also cultivated the true insight of illusions to the small success stage. Although his talent was high and he was very suitable to cultivate illusions, it would still take him many years of accumulation. After all, in order to cultivate illusion techniques, not only do you need talent, but you also need experience. Only then can you create a real illusion. Otherwise, if you haven't experienced it, how can you create it? Things that were imagined out of thin air were not real at all and would be quickly seen through. City Lord. Just as Xiaoping came out of the quiet room, a soldier immediately rushed over from outside. "Why are you so flustered?" Xiaoping asked. The soldier immediately said, "According to the scouts' reports, there seems to be a group of dark ghosts within a few hundred kilometers. There are 300 of them, and there are even ghost kings among them. However, these dark ghosts have set up camp here. They seem to want to investigate our Qingyang city. For now, they don't seem to have any plans to attack our Qingyang city, and they have been biding their time. However, if these dark ghosts stay here, they will always be a huge hidden danger to Qingyang city." He expressed his worries. There are actually dark ghosts coming? They must have come from somewhere else. The death of the faceless ghost king might have alarmed other ghost kings. Xiaoping rubbed his chin. These dark ghosts came at the right time. I can test out the true inside of illusions I just learned. Boom! His divine sense spread out, silently covering 1,000,000 kilometers. He immediately sensed the aura of dark ghosts coming from a valley. There were several hundred of them. Moreover, these dark ghosts were all elites. They were at least at the true fire realm, and most had reached the golden core realm. Whoosh! Xiaoping's figure flickered, transforming into a Koan Peng. He rode the air currents, and in a few breaths of time, he arrived near the valley. Faceless mask. As he neared the valley, he immediately put on the faceless mask and transformed into a mosquito, flying toward the valley. When he reached the valley, he transformed into an ant and hid in the sand. Because these creatures were too small and their auras too weak, these dark ghosts didn't care even if they sensed them. It had to be said that the faceless mask was too useful. It could conceal one's aura and transform into a myriad of forms. It was the best magic treasure to infiltrate an enemy's lair. If an assassin obtained this mask, it would be like adding wings to a tiger, and no one would be able to catch him. At this moment, many dark ghosts had gathered in the valley. One of them had a monstrous aura, and its ghostly aura was as dense as an abyss. Its strength was no less than that of the faceless Ghost King. It was actually a Ghost King, also known as the Hungry Ghost King. It had the power of devouring and was extremely cruel. It liked to devour humans and its own kind to constantly strengthen its dark ghost power. Your Majesty, we've been observing for at least 2 or 3 weeks. Why haven't we attacked that human city yet? That's right. There are millions of humans there. It's such a good food base. We can start a massacre and eat our fill. The dark ghosts revealed greedy and ferocious looks. They wanted nothing more than to charge into Green Sun City and start a massacre. Don't be rash. The Hungry Ghost King was very cautious. Previously, this king heard that the faceless Ghost King was killed by a human. This king did not believe it. When I came to Mount Faceless, I discovered that all the dark ghosts were dead. This matter is not simple. The person who did it is probably a human from Green Sun City. That can't be. That Green Sun City is just an ordinary human city. It's nothing at all. The humans in this small city actually have the ability to kill the faceless Ghost King. Isn't that a little too ridiculous? I feel that the faceless Ghost King might have offended some powerful demon and was killed. How could a mere human have such ability? Many dark ghosts felt that it was just a rumor. A mere human was just food. How could he be a match for them? No, no, no. The Hungry Ghost King shook his head. According to my observations over the past 3 weeks, the human city is not simple. It seems to have set up a heaven and earth formation that absorbs the pure yang aura of the world. It contains destructive fluctuations. Chapter 1550. A tiger's lair? If that's the case, then can we still invade that human city? Should we retreat and not provoke them? Hearing the Hungry Ghost King say this, the dark ghosts couldn't help but want to retreat. If that human city was really so strange, there was no need for them to provoke it. After all, this world was so big. It was the same to go somewhere else and devour humans. No, the hungry Ghost King waved his hand. We still have to go into that city and test it out. After all, the power that can kill the faceless Ghost King is no small matter. This king will not be able to eat or sleep in peace until we figure this out. What does Great King mean? Many dark ghosts looked at the hungry Ghost King. Let's attack Green Sun City tonight and test it out. Let's see what this human city is capable of. The hungry Ghost King's eyes shone with a savage light. If these humans really have the ability, then we'll quickly retreat. If not, we'll kill all the humans in this city, leaving no one alive. A terrifying killing intent emanated from its body. Yes, Great King. The dark ghosts were all extremely excited. They had waited for 3 weeks and had long since grown impatient. They were just puny humans. No matter how powerful they were, there was a limit. They were all food for them. As these dark ghosts conversed, Xiaoping transformed into an ant and hid in the gravel, silently observing from the shadows. As expected of dark ghosts, those who are not of our race definitely have a different heart. They must be exterminated. But before killing these dark ghosts, I need to test the power of illusion techniques. Xiaoping rubbed his chin. Boom! In the blink of an eye, his mind moved, and his divine sense outlined an illusory array in the void. His soul energy produced waves that shook the surroundings like ripples. In an instant, it covered a radius of 1,000 miles. Who is it? The hungry Ghost King roared, shocked and angry. It was extremely sensitive to the fluctuations of divine sense. Sensing that something was wrong with its surroundings, it immediately shouted, causing the surrounding dark ghosts to be on guard. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. As soon as it finished speaking, many dark ghosts appeared around the valley. There were tens of thousands of them, as well as countless demons. 4 of them had extremely terrifying auras, not one bit inferior to the hungry Ghost King. Faceless Ghost King, Venomous Centipede Demon King, Slaughter Demon King, Goat Horn Demon King, you guys are still alive? Hunger Ghost King was shocked when he saw the 4 figures. The dark ghosts were also shocked. They had heard that the Faceless Ghost King and the other Demon King level demons were all dead. But what was going on? Why were they still alive and standing before them? Hungry Ghost King, how dare you behave so atrociously in the territory of your king? Who gave you the guts to do so? The Faceless Ghost King scoffed out coldly with a voice that was filled with an endless chill. Just a bunch of nether ghosts. Daring to invade Master's territory is a capital offense. Demon King Demolisher said in a muffled voice. Letting them roam free for so long is already Master's benevolence. Yet, they still don't know how to retreat. It looks like I have to kill the chicken to scare the monkey and intimidate the dark ghosts. The Goat Horn Demon King's killing intent surged. Hungry Ghost King, commit suicide to atone for your sins. Perhaps you can even escape the pain of living a life worse than death. Poison Centipede Demon King ordered. Master? Who is your master? Demon Emperor or Demon Emperor? Hungry Ghost King was scared half to death. He seemed to have heard incredible news from these Demon Kings. But the problem was that the passageway that connected to hell should not allow demons above the Demon Emperor level to pass through. Once they dare to pass through, the fragile spatial passageway would immediately collapse, and they would fall into the endless spatial storms. In that case, even the demons would die. It looks like the illusion is a success. Xiaoping, who was hidden in the gravel, smiled slightly. He was very satisfied with his illusion ability. It couldn't be any easier to conjure the 4 Demon Kings and the many demons and dark ghosts that he was fighting. It was precisely because he had fought them before that he was extremely familiar with the characteristics of these demons. Every detail was perfect. In the eyes of the hungry Ghost King, the Faceless Ghost King, the Slaughter Demon King, the Goat Horn Demon King, and the Venomous Centipede Demon King looked very realistic. Their bodies emitted a torrential demonic chi, and they were all Demon King level experts. Their auras seemed to distort the air and cause the earth to tremble. So when it saw these Demon Kings appear, it didn't have any doubts. Its preconceived notions made it believe them immediately. Demon Emperors and Demon Emperors are nothing. Our master is the Lord of Qingyang City, the greatest human in the world. He will be the ruler of hell and rule over everything. Faceless Ghost King was extremely fanatical. What? You scum of the demons, traitors of hell, actually surrendered to humans and became their lackeys. Hearing this, Hungry Ghost King flew into a rage. As dark ghosts, as demons, where is your dignity? How dare you become lackeys for food? Do you still have any dignity? He simply couldn't believe what his ears were hearing. As a dark ghost race, a great race that had walked out of hell, they were naturally noble and ate all things in the world as food. Puny humans were just livestock and food. They were no different from pigs and dogs in the human world. Now, the mighty dark ghosts and demons had actually become slaves of pigs and dogs. This was simply a joke. This was the greatest humiliation of hell. If this matter were to spread, all the demons in hell would hunt them down. They wouldn't rest until they were dead. Fool, you dare to insult our great master? Hungry Ghost King, today will be a day worse than death. Even your soul will be captured and burned in hellfire for 10,000 years. Faceless Ghost King seemed to be enraged. With a roar, he immediately attacked. Demon King of Slaughter, Demon King of Goat Horn, and Demon King of Venomous Centipede all attacked together. Like an eagle catching a chicken, they wanted to capture Hungry Ghost King. The other demons and dark ghost subordinates also attacked. Ah, you want to kill me, Hungry Ghost King? How could it be so easy? Even if this king dies, I will take a few down with me. Die for this king. Hungry Ghost King was enraged and used his full strength. The 4 demon kings and Hungry Ghost King fought to the death. In the distance, Xiaoping silently watched this scene. In his eyes, Hungry Ghost King was only angrily roaring at empty space and fighting against the phantoms. Every attack was powerful, but it was all in vain. Bang, bang, bang. The fierce battle lasted for 2 hours. In the end, Hungry Ghost King was exhausted. In despair, he didn't want to be captured by Faceless Ghost King, so he chose to self-detonate and die together. Boom! In an instant, Hungry Ghost King self-detonated, erupting with world-shaking power. It swept through a radius of 1,000 miles, and all the dark ghosts in the surroundings were blasted to death, turning into ashes. The valley was also instantly razed to the ground. The power of illusion is really terrifying. Xiaoping floated in midair. He grabbed with his hand and immediately devoured the dense soul aura left behind by the dead dark ghosts. His divine sense instantly became stronger. He couldn't help but sigh. Hungry Ghost King was a dignified ghost king who had condensed a primordial spirit. But in the face of such realistic illusion power, he still couldn't see through it. In the end, he actually chose to self-detonate in despair. One could imagine the power of illusion. It was enough to toy with an opponent whose mental strength wasn't strong enough. And with the power of the faceless mask, when the two stacked together, it was simply a supreme secret technique for sneak attacks. Chapter 1551. One day later, City Lord residence. The upper echelons of Qingyang City had gathered together. Still no news. Xiaoping looked at everyone. I'm sorry, City Lord. We still haven't found any news about the other black holes. Gu Bo and the others were ashamed. They'd spent a lot of effort, but still hadn't found a small black hole that led to hell. This was also very normal. Although there were many similar small black holes, this secret plane world was very large. Sometimes, they could appear in caves, plains, or deep in the mountains and wild forests. Therefore, finding such a place was like looking for a needle in a haystack, unless one was extremely lucky. All right, continue searching. Let me know if there's any news. Xiaoping waved his hand and didn't mind. I called you all here to tell you one thing. I'm afraid I'll have to leave Qingyang City for a while. Since he couldn't find a black hole that led to hell for the time being, there was no need for him to waste time here. He might as well return to the universe and search for more opportunities to break through. Even if he really found a small black hole that led to hell, with his current strength, entering hell would be courting death instead of searching for treasures. It wouldn't be too late to enter hell when his cultivation was stronger. Hell was here anyway, and it wouldn't run away. It didn't matter when he entered. What? Hearing this, Gu Bo and the others were all incomparably shocked. One had to know that the safety of Qingyang City was all entrusted to Xiaoping. If Xiaoping left, then the prosperity of Qingyang City would be like the moon in the water, quickly turning into bubbles. Not to mention anything else. Even if a Ghost King level Dark Ghost attacked, Qingyang City would be annihilated. You don't have to worry. Before I leave, I will completely remodel Qingyang City. At that time, even if a Ghost King level Dark Ghost or a demon attacks, they will be able to kill the other party. If it was before, Xiaoping wouldn't have this confidence. But after advancing to the Golden Core realm, his ability to set up formations had greatly improved. As long as it was set up properly, dealing with returning truth-level demons would be no problem. After a few more days, Qingyang City once again underwent earth-shattering changes. Xiaoping frantically circled the nearby land. The area within 300,000 kilometers became Qingyang City's territory. He built a magnificent city wall that covered 300,000 kilometers like the Great Wall of China. At the same time, he used Qingyang City as the main city and built 9 satellite cities, 108 small cities, and 18,000 small towns, enough to accommodate more than 1 billion people. In the area, there were farmlands, pastures, and other things that could produce food. There were also factories that could produce weapons. There were also many buildings for people to live in. It could be said that this was the prototype of a human capital that could be self-sufficient. Of course, there were only a few million people in Qingyang City right now. This kind of territory was too big, but in the near future, there would definitely be more people coming in and filling up this place. Such a magnificent project was naturally extremely difficult for ordinary people. It was estimated that they might not be able to succeed even after thousands or tens of thousands of years, and it was unknown how many people would die in the process. However, to the technology of the interstellar era, this was just child's play. Even if they could build a building the size of a planet in a day, it would not be a big deal. With the help of intelligent engineering robots, the buildings rose at a speed visible to the naked eye. Seeing such a miracle, the residents of Qingyang City knelt on the ground and exclaimed that it was a miracle. They worshipped Xiaoping as if he was building a city of God. Of course, these buildings were just child's play. Xiaoping's most important task was to set up the formations. This was not only to help Qingyang City, but also a great opportunity for him to test his knowledge of formations. With the success of the formation, he knew all kinds of formations like the back of his hand. I've left a total of 3 heaven and earth formations, covering 300,000 kilometers. Xiaoping introduced his trump card to Gu Bo and the rest. The first heaven and earth formation is the Earth Black Tortoise formation. It absorbs the power of the Earth's core to form a powerful protective shield. Its power is more than 100 times stronger than before. Previously, it could defend against demons of the true fire realm. But after the upgrade, even demons of the returning truth realm would need a few days to break it, and they would need to use all their strength. Speaking up to here, he paused for a moment. Of course, it doesn't matter even if the Earth Black Tortoise Great Array is broken. I still left behind an abyssal magic illusion Great Array. This is the crystallization of my highest formation wisdom. Even if a cultivator at the returning truth realm enters this Great Array, he will definitely not be able to escape. He sounded very excited. This was a heaven and earth formation that Xiaoping created using his experience of entering the Abyss world. It could evolve terrifying demons of the Abyss world and the harsh environment of the Abyss world. When the formation was activated to the extreme, it could even evolve the Bright Sun demon. Once a demon of this level was evolved, it would destroy the world. Any cultivator of the returning truth realm would die and fall into an endless hallucination hell. As expected of the city lord, Gu Bo and the others were excited. With these 2 formations, Qingyang City was practically impregnable. Even if a Demon King-level demon attacked, Qingyang City would not be afraid and could even counterattack. Of course, no matter how powerful the formation is, it can still be broken from the inside. Xiaoping said solemnly, especially the dark ghosts. They're very terrifying. They can possess humans and become spies. So in order to completely eliminate this hidden danger, I've also set up a pure yang evil punisher formation. Of course, I've also increased the power of this formation by 100 times. Once the pure yang evil punisher formation is activated, even a golden core dark ghost will be burned alive by the yang qi. Even a Ghost King level dark ghost will not be able to withstand it. They will be burned to the point of wishing for death. This way, you will be able to distinguish the identity of the dark ghosts and prevent them from invading Qingyang City. Gubo and the others were filled with admiration. The city lord had indeed planned everything. He had considered all the situations. This was to be expected. Xiaoping planned to build Qingyang City into his forward base to enter hell. It was nothing to spend some effort. He would probably return again in the future. For his lair, the more powerful it was, the better. Otherwise, when he returned and Qingyang City was destroyed, he would have to spend effort to cultivate other forces. I'll leave the cores of these 3 formations to you. Xiaoping handed the formation rune key to Gubo and made him the temporary city lord. Of course, the core of the formation was still on him. No one could think of controlling it. Gubo would only become a level 2 authority holder. Yes, city lord. Chapter 1552. Boom. The next day, under the watchful eyes of Gubo and the others, Xiaoping drove the stars and tore through space and left the mystic realm, leaving countless people in awe. With Xiaoping's departure, the deaths of the faceless Ghost King, Demon King of Annihilation, Demon King of Venomous Centipede, and Demon King of Goat Horn spread rapidly. Countless humans learned of it, causing a huge uproar. Even at the distant end of the world, people heard that there was a human holy city in this world with a territory of 300,000 kilometers. It could fend off fiendish demons and dark ghosts. It was a paradise in the mortal world, the only holy land. There was no need to worry about dark ghosts, fiendish demons, or food to live in this place. Such a slogan spread like wildfire and made Qingyang City famous. Many humans came because of its fame and brought their families with them. Some human cities that were already troubled by dark ghosts and fiendish demons even moved their entire cities over. Not long after, the population of Qingyang City increased exponentially, and it became incomparably prosperous. There were several Ghost King-level dark ghosts and fiendish demons that tried to attack this human city, but they were all killed. Their corpses were hung on the city gates as a warning. This also made Qingyang City even more famous, truly becoming a holy city of the human race. Dong! The stars tore through space and left the mystic realm. However, the spatial location of this mystic realm had long been recorded by the stars, so Xiaoping wasn't worried that he wouldn't be able to find this mystic realm next time. Corinne, where's this place? Xiaoping looked around. There were planets everywhere in the vast starry sky, but he couldn't tell where he was. Yes, I'm still in the southern universe, but I'm already far away from the myriad poison clan's territory. Corinne checked the star chart and found his geographical location. All right, let's return to Cosmic Sect now. Xiaoping nodded. He didn't care about the voyage and left it to Corinne. After more than 10 days, he finally returned to Cosmic Star, and the spacecraft landed on Yanhuang Peak. Oh! At this moment, on the Dark North Peak, the Dark North Saint suddenly opened his eyes. Sensing the aura on Xiaoping's body, he let out a look of surprise. It's only been a few months since we last met, and you've already reached the Golden Core realm. Furthermore, this isn't a forceful breakthrough that expends one's latent potential. It's a natural breakthrough, and your foundation is incomparably sturdy. Just what sort of fortuitous encounter did you have? He was also very surprised. Under normal circumstances, it was normal for a true Fire Realm cultivator to spend hundreds or even thousands of years to advance to the Golden Elixir Realm. It was the same for geniuses. But now, Xiaoping's breakthrough was as easy as drinking water. He was also very surprised. However, that was all there was to it. Although his cultivation speed was a little faster, it was not strange for anything to happen in a vast universe. As a saint, he had seen too many things. Since I have advanced to the Golden Core realm, I have the strength to enter the management of the sect and assign tasks. Dark North Sage thought for a moment and immediately used his divine sense to inform the Chinquan sect elder. After doing this, he closed his eyes and continued to comprehend. For sages, it was even possible for them to cultivate for as long as 10,000 years. This sudden awakening was just a nap. A few days later, in the morning at Yanhuang Peak, Xiaoping woke up from his cultivation and returned to the Chinquan sect. He had also consolidated his skyrocketing cultivation level and absorbed the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. His dermic powers had also become a little stronger, and he was getting closer to the peak of the early-stage Golden Core realm. But to break through a small realm in the Golden Core realm was many times more difficult than in the True Fire realm. Just the amount of energy that the Golden Core realm needed to devour was not something that a True Fire realm cultivator could compare with. If there was no external help, he would probably need thousands of years of cultivation to have a chance to break through from the early-stage Golden Core realm to the mid-stage Golden Core realm. This was just a chance. If the opportunity did not come, he would probably be stuck in the early-stage Golden Core realm. Beep beep. At this moment, Xiaoping's communication device rang. He opened it and saw that it was a call from Elder Yu Xiujuan. He was an elder of the Chinquan sect and had a high status. He picked up the call immediately, and a virtual projection appeared. Then, Yu Xiujuan's figure appeared in front of Xiaoping. Xiaoping, you have advanced to the Golden Core realm? Yu Xiujuan looked at Xiaoping. That's right. But how did you know, Elder Yu? Xiaoping blinked his eyes. He remembered that when he returned to the Chinquan sect, he immediately returned to the Yanhuang Peak. No one should know about his cultivation progress. The Dark North Sage told me. Yu Xiujuan was in disbelief. I thought it was a joke, but I didn't expect it to be true. You have only joined the Chinquan sect for slightly more than 2 years, and you have advanced from the Purple Mansion realm to the Golden Core realm. Your improvement speed is simply too fast. Our genius is all so unreasonable. To be honest, even though he had seen countless geniuses and was a genius himself, he was still jealous of Xiaoping's cultivation speed and the fact that it was as easy as drinking water. I might want to be humble, but it seems like no matter how I try to hide it, I can't hide it. You are right. I am a genius, Xiaoping said casually. Yu Xiujuan's mouth twitched. He didn't know why, but he wanted to punch this guy. But he still suppressed the impulse in his heart and went straight to the point. He said the reason why he was looking for Xiaoping. I came to look for you for a matter. What is it? Xiaoping asked. Sect mission. Yu Xiujuan said in a deep voice, since you have advanced to the Golden Core realm, it means that you have the ability to protect yourself in the universe. You don't have to worry about being killed by some simple accidents. According to the Chinquan sect's rules, disciples who have advanced to the Golden Core realm can be considered to have graduated. Therefore, every Chinquan sect disciple who has advanced to the Golden Core realm needs to be sent out to carry out sect missions. Xiaoping didn't say anything and continued to listen to Yu Xiujuan. And your sect mission this time is to head to a commercial planet at the border of our Chinquan sect, World Head Planet. You will become the planet's leader and manage the big and small affairs of this planet for 10 years. Yu Xiujuan told Xiaoping about the sect mission this time. Become the planet's leader? Is this considered a mission? Isn't this a reward? Xiaoping asked curiously. Of course it isn't that simple. Yu Xiujuan smiled. World Head Planet isn't simple. It is at the border of the star domain that the Chinquan sect rules and is connected to the Western universe. All sorts of factions will appear on this planet. It is very complicated and the situation is very chaotic.